welcome to another episode of Tribunal of the Grid. Tribunal of the Grid. Oh my goodness, where we talk about Take Two. Jesus Christmas. This is what, like, take 4 now? Okay.
Honestly, this is what happens when we're gone for so long. We honestly, even last year we weren't even in training. Like, it's been a while. It's been a while.
It's been a minute. I don't know what's going on here. Like, I don't know. This is crazy. But let's try this again. Hello and welcome to another episode of Tribunal of the Grid, where we talk about all things Power Rangers, including the actors that played them. Hi, Happy New Year. My name is Brandon.
My name is Lena.
My name is Will.
Okay. All right. As you can see, we are struggling on at the beginning of this year, trying to get our lives together. That was difficult.
That was. But Happy New Year, guys. Like,
Happy New Year.
New Year 2024. Like, holy shit. We are here. And guess what, guys? This is season 5 for us.
Season 5. Season 5.
Freaking 5. Like, holy shit.
Yes. Season 5.
Oh my God. Okay. Like, I want to say something real quick before we get into, all the great things we're about to talk about today. Yesterday, I know what you're going to say, Will, but I had to do it. I finally saw Zoey 102 available for free on Disney, right? I think, it was on Disney. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I know we don't support Jamie Lynn, but I'm going to do it because I need to do it for the nostalgia factor, for me, for the little girl that never got the ending of Zoey 101. I will tell you this. It was obviously corny. It was exactly what Zoey 101 is, except they're grown up, right? And I'm not gonna lie. It was a shitty movie, but it was a great movie at the same time. And everything about the new theme song, it really brings you back. It brings you back. I think it brings you back to, you being a child or you being younger and just watching the show and just enjoying the simple things in life. And it just really takes you back. And the reason why I brought this up is because I've been reflecting on the fact that we've been doing this for 5-6 years now. And we talk about a show that we've been watching since we were like freaking children. And I guess just heading into this new year got me in my feelings, it got me really reflecting and it's so crazy to think that, like, and I've said this before, that like if you had told me like 5-7 years ago that, we would be here today doing what we're doing and having the adventures that we're having, I would not believe you. I truly would not believe you. And just watching that really got me more in my feels and really got me thinking, like, wow, this is like, if past us could see where we're at today, it's like, holy shit, so like, yeah. So anyways, that really got me in my feels, and, it's in the new year and it just got me thinking, like, wow, like we are becoming nostalgic ourselves. And that movie really got me like, holy crap, like look at them all grown up and just try to navigate through life, and like kind of crazy. And I will say this, they did give Zoey 101 an ending that we never got.
Okay.
It was wrapped up in a cute little... What was that?
At least they did that. I mean, I would hope so, since they did a whole movie.
Don't get me wrong, they didn't really spend a lot of time on it, but they summed it up in like a quick, like a table talk situation, where like they kind of briefly talked about it and that was it. And it was more than enough. It was all we need. Beautiful. And the ending, like, it was the perfect ending with the theme song too. I love how they changed it up. They made it slower. They changed up some of the lyrics. They added new lyrics, and like it was a beautiful ending for. But anyways, to bring it back to Power Rangers, it really gets you thinking and reflecting on like all the things that we've done, and who would have thought that like a little show would have brought us this far. So
I just want to say yes. I feel you on that. My only thing is, girl, Zoe 101 though. Like, girl,
to be fair, what I was watching. What was that?
You didn't watch that, Brandon?
Hell no.
No?
I mean, we were
older.
No. We were older. For me, I did. Oh God, that was like the whole high school experience for me when it was on. So like at that point, I wasn't really watching Nickelodeon like that, especially not like one of the live action shows. But it was just something about seeing kids my own age that it kind of was like low key relatable. So like I paid attention to it and actually like was okay with it. I didn't watch it in full. I remember like maybe like a decade ago they did this little skit where it was like it was a really like extremely mini reunion, and the guy Chase, he met up with the black guy, Michael, I think.
Yeah, Michael.
They had opened up like this time capsule, and he wanted to know what Zoe said about him, and then we just didn't find out. And then that was like a precursor, and that I guess that got the we want a continuation thing going, and then they actually finally did it. So I wanted to see it, but I don't mess with Jamie Lynn like that. But I still kind of wanted to see it.
Period.
Yeah.
It is giving real. We don't fuck with her. And I'm like, even when they were like, oh yeah, like we're gonna do a Zoe 101 reunion, I was like, who wants to see this after all this stuff with Brittany? And we know that Zoe is a whole crazy ass helper. No.
Yes. I will admit, her in it again, I'm not gonna lie, it was so cringy. Everyone else was great. It was just her. Like as I'm watching her, I'm like, you need to not act anymore, Jamie. Like you need to like stop acting. You're horrible. When you were a kid, you got away with it because she was a child.
Kids are bad for the most part.
Exactly. Most children actors are not that great. Some of them are like phenomenal, and obviously we know who are the phenomenal ones because they make it and they make it far and they grow up on it, right? They grow up on screen. But like the ones that don't make it, they don't make it. And we all know Jamie got opportunities because of her sister, not because she can make it,
Exactly. Let's be clear. Jamie was
don't
terrible.
Get me wrong. Like I'm very much obviously the fact that we're coming back today. It also got me thinking, got me reflecting, got me in my feels, and I'm just like, holy shit! Like it's been this long since we've been doing this, and like look at us, and this is not even like the end yet. And to think back on like, especially with the year-end wrap too, when I was reviewing some of her stuff, to see that our interviews like slap, people love them, even episodes that we didn't think that people are still watching, like they're active with like within like the 30-day range. So it was kind of cool to see that, that like, our interview with Claire Blackwood. No, what was
Blackwater?
Blackwater, was
Blackwater. Blackwelder.
Wow. Well,
yes, Blackwater.
We were close. We got Blackwood. We got Blackwater. We got the Elements.
Claire Black Woman. Like
we got Jared Blakeson. That was that was a hit too. And like obviously Nikita and Catherine's interview, I was surprised.
Nikita? Who is Nikita?
Nikita.
Girl, not LaFilm Nikita. Like
what did we say?
Nikita. Oh my goodness. But yes. Yes. The people know. They know. Oh, that's great. But yes. But no, it's funny that you say that though, because I will say definitely going back and looking at some of our like our metrics and stuff like that from this past year and everything, like I have to say we have been like, while we're going through it, it doesn't really feel like it. It just kind of feels like, we're just basically shooting the shit and just like, all right, whatever. But when I look back at last year, I was like, last year was actually kind of cute. Like it was good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, like I'm actually quite proud of us for what we did, even though like it was, we had that huge gap because of the strikes and all of that stuff, but it was still a pretty decent year considering. And I'm just like, dang, like that's crazy. That like, like last year was as good as it was, despite everything that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it really was. And like, yeah, honestly, like it's just kind of crazy to think that we overall it was a great year, and you know what? Cheers to 2024 and to the rest of this year.
So we will be doing a little piece of unrange. What? What am I talking about? We will be doing a ranking episode, and this ranking episode will be of Yellow Rangers. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy. It is going to be first of all, I'm just going to be honest. Like the people who fail in the places that they fail, honestly, really gagged the crap out of me. As I was doing it, as I was compiling the list together, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. What is happening? I honestly did not foresee the list being the way that it was. So yeah, I hope that everybody who's listening, maybe you have your own, I guess, ranking of who's going to be wet and, who's going to fall in whatever place. I'm pretty sure all of y'all lists are going to be a lot different than what we got, because I'm going to tell you right now, like all three of our lists were extremely different from each other. So, let us know what you guys think, and we're going to go ahead and get this list started. So
really quick.
Go for it.
I want to say, so this is a ranking of the Yellow Rangers, and as I was compiling the list, and one of the reasons why some of the characters are so low in my list is because historically they don't really show much love to the Yellow Rangers. So this came to mind in the words of Malcolm X, the most disrespected Power Ranger in history is the Yellow Ranger.
Facts. And to piggyback off of what you just said, honestly, like Yellow Rangers, for the most part, traditionally they started out being women of color. Pinks were always white women. And then, you kind of got, your Asians here and there, but it wasn't until 2014, 2015 that we finally got a Black woman. So, like it was very well into its time of being out where we finally got a Black woman. Meanwhile, Yellows for a long time were Black women, and they were constantly being looked over. Like they were not giving none of the girls nothing, honey. So, like to Will's point, it's like, yeah, Yellow Rangers are the most disrespected women in the show. Like it's just bad.
Well, not just women. Some of the guys didn't really get.
Oh yeah. Oh, we'll get to that either. Yeah, because poor Titus. Speaking of,
oh Lord.
So already out the gate, just to let y'all know, we have the Yellow Rangers. We have Yellow Rangers from only the show. We're not doing comics. We're not doing any other other multimedia, including Hyperforce, even though I know some of y'all are going to be like, Hyperforce is canon. Yes, Hyperforce is canon. However, we are talking specifically about what we saw on TV and or Netflix, meaning we're going to talk about, we're including Trini, both movie Trinis, Men and Trini from 2017. And those are the only other ones that we're including. We're not including any comics or any comic characters or any or Hyperforce or anything like that. So, with that being said, is 22 of them all together. Coming at number 22, obviously, is Titus from Alien Rangers. And Titus is coming in with 64 points. So basically what we did was, as I ranked them, basically I calculated the position, the number position that each Ranger was on the list, and then I added them all together. So say, for example, I put, Titus at number 3. Obviously I did it, but say I put Titus at number 3. We'll put Titus at number 4. Lena put Titus at number 3. So that number would be like, math is hard, 10. So that's how we got the number 64. So obviously that's not how that math went, but you get the point. So what I'm saying is, all together on our list, we all put Titus pretty much at the last place. So Titus is number 22. Number 21, we have Calvin with 63 points.
Yep, as he should be.
As he should be.
As he should be. It was only slightly better than Titus because he made more of an appearance.
Right. Now, here's the thing. What I love about the bottom 4, honestly, they are literally where they should be. Like, as I was doing this, I'm like, oh, the bottom 4 are exactly what they're supposed to be. Like, there's no question about this. So I'm just going to go ahead and knock them out now. So number 20 is going to be Emily with 58. And number 19 is Gia with 55. So all of them are pretty much, they're all pretty much neck and neck. So what do you guys think? Are they right? Like, do you think that, do you think it could be different?
They should be exactly where they're at.
For me, she was, when I say a little bit higher, I mean, 2 spots higher? I like Gia better than some of the other ones, but I mean, there wasn't a lot there, unfortunately, for her. Talk about disrespect. We talked about this before. Like, she never had a focus episode.
Ever. Out of 40 episodes, this girl had no focus episode whatsoever.
Yeah. But I liked Sierra Hannah's portrayal of her, even though it wasn't a lot. So, like, she was a little bit higher for me.
Here's the thing, right? And specifically about Gia, because I actually feel really bad for Gia. When they were literally conceptualizing Megaforce and stuff like that and presenting Megaforce before the show even came out, when they said that they were taking it back to the Mighty Morphin days and literally Ghost Sager's outfit, the color scheme, it was given Mighty Morphin. So it made sense that they were like, oh, we're going to make this, we're going to have them be teenagers again. We're going to, the whole 9 yards. Then they came out and was like, oh yeah, Gosei is supposed to be Zordon reminiscent. Like, it's like, oh snap, like this is definitely giving Mighty Morphin. But I'm thinking it's going to be giving more like Mighty Morphin meets Dino Thunder-esque kind of show, Yeah. And I'm like, after the first episode, I'm sitting there like, oh, when y'all said y'all was making it like Mighty Morphin, no, y'all meant Mighty Morphin. Like, it was literally Mighty Morphin almost page for page. Like, they were doing basically the same exact thing that they did in Day of the Dumpster. So I was like, well, maybe they might be able to spawn it out and, create their own thing. No, these people were in suit pretty much for like what, 18 minutes of a 22-minute show? So it's like
that first episode was crazy. How it was literally Day of the Dumpster with different characters. Like
literally Day of the Dumpster. And I mean with the the biographies of each character and stuff like that, I'm thinking, oh, Gia is gonna be like really freaking cool because she's supposed to be really smart, and you know, she's kind of actually smarter than Noah, and you know, like she's also a martial artist at the same time. So I'm thinking, oh, Gia's gonna have some crazy good episodes. And this girl ain't got not one. I was like, damn. So, you know, I just always felt bad for the Megaforce team, honestly. I really did. And you could tell that based on the character biographies, you would have thought that there was going to be something for them. Like there was going to be some real meat to them. But it was obvious that a certain EP was like, nah. Y'all gonna get these people in suit for like 19 minutes of a 22-minute show. Gia is number 19. Number 18, Ronnie with 50. You know what? I wasn't mad at that. Because I was like, you know what? Yes. Ronnie wasn't a bad character, but she wasn't good either.
Pretty much. I can't. I don't remember much about her. I watched that season once, and that was enough for me. I remember. I remember before I watched it, listening to No Pink Spandex and hearing them talk about the characters. I remember they talked about her loving. I can't use. I mean, I could use the words that they did, but I'm not going to do it. She really liked cars. So that's all I remember, and I remember that description more than I actually remember anything she did watching it. So
here's the thing. The only thing I remember about Ronnie was the fact that she got captured a lot. That was it. I'm like, she was the most captured ass helper out the whole group. Like, homegirl stayed getting trapped. I'm like, but you supposed to be the fast one. How you get captured? Like, I'm just like, what is happening? Like, I just never really, and trust me, the actress, very sweet woman. Love her down. But her character, poor baby. Like, like, it was just, and she was always so like, I guess she was too competitive. And it was just like, but you, but the thing is, it's like, okay, you're supposed to be competitive. And well, her whole thing was she was supposed to learn not to be too competitive, but also, you know, let other people win and you know, be a good team player, be a team sport. But it's like, y'all didn't give her anything else good to be good at. Like, how is she competitive? And like, she's not good at that many things except for race car driving. So it's like, what? She just out here being competitive just to be competitive? Like, what?
Basically her entire personality. She wasn't even competitive. She was just a race car racer.
Yes.
That was literally her. You see a race car? Like, that was Ronnie.
She's just like, yeah, I got a need for speed. Okay, girl. All right.
Yeah.
I guess.
It was, I'm not gonna lie, it started to become cringy of how much need for speed she had.
Yeah. I'm just like, okay, girl, this is just not it. Like, but yeah, Ronnie is at number 18. Now, here we go, because obviously, you know, there's always going to be a tie. Always, you know. So for number 16 and 17, I mean, I already know what my answers are, but for 16 and 17, we have both a tie with Kelsey and Chip. Kelsey from Lightspeed Rescue and Chip from Mystic Force with 46. So who is taking the 17 spot and who is taking the 16?
Chip for me would be 17. I didn't connect to him.
Really?
He had like I can remember there was like a certain energy from him, but I couldn't connect with him. I liked Xander because I he was the one that I was familiar with because I had seen the Once a Ranger before, and I I liked what I saw from that. So he was the same thing in there. And I liked Madison, who got nothing. And I think, damn, I think that was it. And I like Vita a little bit.
Oh.
And that was about it. I think I like some of the villains more than I like the Ranger. Why you saying? Why you say oh like that? That was about it for Mystic. Yeah, for Mystic Force, and then Kelsey. Kelsey actually was a lot higher on my list. Uh, for her, I really loved her and Chad. And it wasn't romantic at all. They were just homies. I loved that. Um, and I love seeing Sasha actually doing her own stunts with the rollerblades on. I thought that was so cool. And
Yeah.
she got at least. I mean, I'm sure Chip did get a couple of focus episodes. Like he was focused on for the Vita Vampire episode. I remember
Mhm.
that. But I feel like Kelsey got a couple of ones. One was the astronaut girlfriend. I love that one.
Yes, we
And
all remember her.
yeah, and then the one with her bitchy grandmother who like had a whole turnaround, which was nice. Oh my god, I felt so bad for her when her grandma kicked her out the mansion.
Oh, her
Um,
grandma was like, "Oh, you lost my jewelry. Get the
yeah,
fuck out. Get out."
yeah.
I
She,
was like,
she
"Oh no."
she was so sweet. I really liked it. Like she was sweet and she was a tomboy. It was such an interesting mix. So I always had a like soft spot for her.
I like Kelsey. I do. I actually do like Kelsey a lot. But once again, I have the same thing with Kelsey as I did with Ronnie.
Mhm.
Like it's just one of those things where I was just like, I could take her or leave her. Like it's not,
Yeah.
but for Kelsey, it's not a bad thing though for her. It's like she just didn't make an impact for me. It was like I
Exactly.
liked her, right? Like I liked her, but that was it. It was just like, okay, I can take her or leave her. That's it. And that's how I felt with majority of the Lightspeed team. You know,
Yeah,
except
Mhm.
they weren't a very like impactful team.
yeah, like the only one I really like stand for,
Is
honestly.
Ryan for me.
Well, I mean,
He was short.
Ryan was yeah. I mean Ryan because he was getting raw dogged by that cobra on his back. So I mean, definitely Ryan for that reason. But I mean, not even that. But I mean, like, I love Carter. Like, I'm sorry, but
Mature, maturing is
Carter,
realizing that Carter was the shit.
yo, no, for real. Like, Carter, first of all, Carter was like, I don't have time to throw hands. I'm just going to shoot you.
Mm-hmm,
Like, point
mm-hmm.
blank, period. And I'm like, yes, we have been in this show for God knows how many years. And everybody wanting to throw hands. It's like, shoot these mugs. Like, just go ahead and put a cap in their asses and get it over with. And Carter understood the assignment. So I'm like, yes, I love Carter for that. So he was the only one that I actually enjoyed. Everybody else was just like, they were okay. And that's
I
yeah.
I liked, and I think it's purely because the actor is brilliant. I love Joel, but in hindsight, he was very creepy. The shit he did with
Yeah.
Fairweather, who even though she's not a ranger, awesome character. But yeah, that wasn't cool.
Yeah, Joe was a little creepy. He definitely was doing some very questionable things to Miss Fairweather.
Yeah.
But But even then, I just kind of felt like all of them except for Carter was just like, you're just kind of there. Chip out of Mystic Force, to me, he was more of like, he was one of the better parts in a way. Because I don't know, it was something about his bubbliness and his just excitement about being a ranger, but also just like already being excited about knowing that other things outside of reality exist. That energy and that like childlike behavior he had, because like I thought it was adorable when they were like, oh, just like how you wore your cape to school every day when we were kids. Like I was just like, oh, he's so sweet.
I'm with you there, Brandon, because like for me, Chip was a little bit higher. He was number 14 for me. Rodney was 15 and Kelsey was 18 for me. I don't dislike Kelsey. It's just I forgot she was even there until I saw the list. So, just say.
Yeah.
And I put her above Emily, Gia, and Gavin and Titus because she's obviously better than them, but she was not memorable for me.
Yeah.
Not a lot of moments, unfortunately.
No, but Chip, I agree with Brandon. Chip did actually bring a lot more laughter, a lot more enlightenment, and he didn't get more. He deserved a lot more, and he didn't get it. It was kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
Like his character has so much potential. He, for me personally, he lined up with Xander. If he given the same amount of like, like I guess like quality time, whatever. What do we call it? Quality time, screen time, like whatever.
Screen time,
focus.
You focus. There you go. I felt like him and Xander could have been a great duo.
I agree.
I agree
with that actually.
Yeah, him and what's her name again? Vita? No,
Vita.
Yeah. Him and Vita were not it. They were not it. I get that they're trying to make them like like that best friends, those best friends that grew up. No, they were just not it. Like as friends, they were just not it. It was so forced. It was disgusting. Like I was just like,
damn, not disgusting though.
I thought it was disgusting because like every time I saw them and I could see them try to, you can see the show trying to push them together to be like, look, those two great best. I was like, they're not. They're not. Vita, she's just an extrovert, but she's a lone wolf. She does her own thing. She's just out there living up her own life.
That's a good sum up of her.
Yeah. So like, and for her to have like that so-called best friend, it just didn't make sense. Like him and Xander, yes, I could see those two just like just lighting up the town. Like, so yeah, for me, I definitely really like Chip when I was watching Mystic Force, and so that's why for me he was a lot higher. Yeah, he lined up with Xander for me. What was the other one? We did Kelsey, we did Ronnie,
and then Ronnie, Gia, Emily, Calvin, and Titus.
Okay, yeah, okay, perfect. So I didn't miss anything. Got it. Yeah, I agree with everyone that's on the list so far. So
that's interesting. For Kelsey and Chip, like it's like it's 2 against 1 basically. I felt the exact same way about Kelsey that you guys feel about Chip.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's weird because honestly, I didn't even foresee myself even having that kind of conversation with myself with those two, because any other time I would literally just be like, they're on the same page. Like, just in general. Like, I never really differentiated the two in terms of like which one I like more. They were just always pretty much in the same category. But when I actually sat there and analyzed it, it's like, oh no, like I did kind of like Chip a little bit more. I didn't care for that season a lot more than Light's Rescue. But I did actually like that character more, because it was just something about the actual season of Light's Rescue that despite it being like, I can see how someone would say Lightspeed Rescue is middle of the road or just kind of like a mid-season, because it's like you don't have too many things that make you go, oh snap, you know what I'm saying? You don't have too much of that, but with everything that happens, it still tells a good story. And it's like everything is pretty much even. There's no I guess like growth here, like then it comes down. There's no like rockiness in the show. It's just pretty much even keel. So for me, I just always kind of felt like as a whole, Lightspeed Rescue and the characters just kind of stayed safe until the finale. The finale was when it was like
amazing finale.
Amazing. Like it just all hell broke loose on the finale. And it was just like, oh shit, where was this during the whole show? It's like, oh my goodness. But you know, quick, that's how I kind of felt with that.
That season, I felt like if you compare it to the season before at Lost Galaxy, it was a lot of filler. I felt like there were moments with the arcs that if you really like give that season a maybe like an abridged view, like you find an essentials list of episodes to watch, like I feel like you will kind of get some of those like oh my god moments, like finding out about Ryan being Captain Mitchell's long lost son. He's been raised by the demons, and then oh my god, that fight with him and Dana, not Carter, but him and Dana, brother sister, having a badass fight scene. That was so awesome. And I'm thinking about the time that Carter did that close range shot on the monster. They were in like the shipping yard.
Oh yeah, the docks.
That was so cool. And all the drama between the demons. Queen Bansheera just she was just evil. Oh my god.
Like, but that's the thing with Lightspeed Rescue to me, like Lightspeed Rescue felt more like as an adult, I can appreciate Lightspeed Rescue a little more. As a kid, I didn't, because Lightspeed Rescue just felt more like a soap opera. It didn't because it was a lot. Not saying that I didn't like it. It was just like, at the time, it was just like, whoa, like there's so much going on in terms of like just drama with the characters. Which, like I said, as an adult now, I can appreciate and I can like. Because, for example, if I were to sit there and watch Lightspeed Rescue now, I'd probably enjoy it a little more. Granted, I still feel like the characters are still the same. That's not changing. But in terms of like the show itself and the arcs and the beats that happen, I can appreciate those a lot more, because like you said, like just in general, even with the villains, finding out that Queen Bansheera didn't give two shits about them was like, yo, like she's unhinged. Like she is just out here like, listen, I will kill everybody, even my own son, to get what I want. So
crazy. Yeah.
I don't care. Like, you know, if you ain't riding for me, if you ain't putting your life on the line for me, oh well, like you're gonna die and I'm gonna kill you. So it doesn't matter. You know, but Mystic Force to me kind of felt like I felt more of a story, despite the fact that the story was based on Nick, and that's what ruined it for me. It was Nick's story, and they made sure that we knew it was Nick's story. And that was one of the things that actually hurt the season for me, because of the fact that you had such great characters. Like, great characters. Like, I love, actually, if they would have given everybody an equal shot and still made it Nick's story, the season itself probably would have fared a lot better. But you could tell that every 5 minutes they were trying to shoe in Nick in some kind of way. where they were like, oh yeah, we got to make sure that, we push this arc of Nick being the light, being the secret child that nobody knows still exists, even though we the fans, we the viewers know for a fact that Nick is that damn child ever since episode 1. Like, we knew this. But they were just constantly pushing it. And I'm like, y'all could have lightened up a little bit. Didn't know how the light lightened up. Made it funny. But they could have lightened up a little bit. And it just kind of felt like they were just constantly just beating a dead horse. And that to me is what actually hurt the show. But yeah, so let's go ahead and break this tie though, because who's going to be number 16 and who's going to be number 17?
Oh yeah, I said mine already, right? It was one more time. Who were the two again? I'm so sorry.
Kelsey and Chip. So 16 and 17. Yep.
I would say Chip beats Chelsea.
Okay.
Yeah, I said that already. Mine was Kelsey beating Chip. So I think you guys outdid me.
Yeah. So it will be for number 17. 17 will be Kelsey, and Chip will be number 16.
Yeah.
All right. So as a recap, so far we have Titus at 22, Calvin at Calvin at 21.
Yep.
Damn right.
Yeah, right.
Emily at 20.
Oh yeah.
Gia at 19.
Yep.
Ronnie at 18.
Yep.
Kelsey at 17.
Yep.
And Chip at 16.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Next at number 15, we have Maya with 40.
Okay.
I was like, yes, as she should be.
Yeah.
As she should be.
I agree.
Like, I don't know. Maya just, and like, I get why boys like Maya. I get it. First of all, she's stunningly beautiful, and she was half naked for pretty much 40 episodes. So I get it.
I mean, you know what? Like she was slightly more dressed than she was in that None Other Teenager movie.
Oh my Lord.
I think that's probably why she goes up on their list a little more, because she was butt ass naked in that movie, and they were like, "Oh yeah,
yeah."
It's just like, come on now, stop this, y'all. Like, I mean, I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Maya was pretty low on my list. Like, she was literally probably, I think she was like number 17 or something like that. Like. She was pretty low. She was almost hitting that 22 mark.
For me, she was at the 10 mark, and not because like I feel like she deserves to be above the other ones I chose, but because it was nostalgia in the sense that like I was introduced to her longer than I've been introduced to the other ones that I put below her. And like she's literally been around her whole fucking life when you really think about it. So I wanted to give her that respect, like she deserved a lot more in her than what she was given for her character. She should have been dressed properly. She should have better episodes, like. So for me, she was number 10 on my list.
Lena, stay out of my head, because that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, come on now, you have an alien that can talk to animals. Well, the Galactic Beast. She's a jungle girl. She was swinging off the vines and shit. She was actually a pretty cool concept.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
But man, they dropped the ball. Like
they did.
She's from, like, okay, so this is oh God, we're so PC now. So, okay. So because she's an alien, you would think that automatically she might know a little bit about space. That's not fair to say, but they could have wrote it like that. But they didn't. Like they were constantly going off of Terra Venture in the Astro Mega ship to other planets. You would think maybe she would know a little bit about space because she's not from Earth, and we would think that maybe people, beings from other planets might know. Like you would think that they're smarter than human beings, so they would know more. But they didn't play into that. One of the coolest episodes that I think it was kind of like her only two solo focus. Like she didn't share with anybody. Um, the episode where she fought Loyalax. I thought that was cool, even though like that
Oh,
story could have been even better.
I thought
Really,
you were going to say the episode where she was fighting her lesbian lover
no,
Chandra.
that was the next one. That was the
Oh,
next
because
one.
that was the best one in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like,
that was and that one was really cool because we got to see her interact with someone from Marinoid, which I think that her seeing her childhood best friend, like it should have been like more weight to it, and they
mhm.
didn't really give it that. And those were like her only two, at least like by herself, not sharing with Kendricks or one of the boys. That was her only two focus episodes. And then like the ones that they gave her with Kendricks, they were really just like they weren't strong. I think what was it, the Stealing Beauty episode, and I think
Mhm.
it was one that was kind of cool was the one where they both got trapped inside of a dome, and then the boys were separated from them. I thought that was kind of cool, and then they were like losing air. And then that's
My
all I can
only
think
issue with
of.
that episode, my only issue with that episode
The
is
kids.
the no, not even the kids. Like the
Oh,
kids
okay.
actually were not bad. I that was like one of the first times that I was like, I don't hate kids in this show because like they weren't bad.
It
But
looks exactly like the two of them, though. Come on
they
now.
exactly like them. I was like, oh, they did that on purpose.
Glasses and
But
everything.
I mean the exact same look. I'm like, y'all did that shit on purpose. But like honestly, what really actually made me upset with that scene, and I tried to see it from everybody's side and everybody's point of view, but I'm like, I'm sorry, Maya, girl, you just wrong. Like you just wrong. You don't go off and just start like just eating people's shit without asking. Like, what the
Right.
fuck is wrong with you? I don't care where you from. On your planet, somebody might be saving, you know what I'm saying, a little piece of alien pineapple, you know what I'm saying, under some straw and shit, and they just like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck this up later, and you come up and unearthed it, and you be like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and eat this. You don't think that person gonna be mad? Like, come on
Mhm.
now. Like, I know y'all sharing everything, but goddamn, like y'all don't do that shit on y'all planet like that. You know? I'm just like, now come on, Maya, girl, no. Like, Like, I just always felt like Maya was out of pocket for that. And then she got mad.
Mhm.
Because Kendricks got mad at her. It was like, oh no. I'm sorry, Maya, but no, girl. No. I understand you're an alien and everything, but even then, like, it's a no for me. I was
Mhm.
like, Kendricks is 100% in the right. Like, she is
Yeah.
100% in the right.
Yeah.
So I was glad that they kind of made Maya go ahead and apologize to her because it was like, yes. But then, of course, they
Yeah.
had to pull the no, I do apologize too because, yeah, I was wrong for yelling at you. No, girl, you supposed to
You really
say,
want,
yeah,
yeah.
you right for saying I'm sorry. Thank you. And move on.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
as you said, that's exactly it. Because you don't need to be all like like no, any regular human being would be upset. I don't
Yes.
care.
Mhm. Shit. I feel like if they would have done that in like Zeo or Turbo, it would have like ended like that. Or one of like the more recent seasons. Because I can't really see Tanya reneging on her apology. Or not
No.
her apology, but like somebody else's apology towards her where like it was valid. Like what you did was not cool. Thank you for that apology. Now let's go and get a milkshake.
Exactly. And case in point, to your point, Will, perfect example. When Kat dragged the fuck out of Lieutenant Stone's niece, she dragged her ass for filth and said, listen, if you want to be my friend, bet. But if not, girl, move on.
Yeah.
And you see old girl pop her ass up with a better attitude, and she had her shit together. And it's like, yes, you know what's right, and that's it. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you wrong, you wrong. Point blank, period. But don't be having everybody be like, well, I was wrong for yelling at you. No, you was right. You were right. So yeah, nah. Like, even with that episode, like with everything that happened in that episode, even that, to me, that was the weaker point. And to me, that always made Maya, to me, even weaker. Because like she never had any real good episodes, in my opinion, that actually showed her in like the best light. Even though she had those two, she still like, I don't know what it was. I feel like it's just the writing of her that was just like, they just really didn't give her what she should have been getting.
Yeah. To be fair, and this isn't a good thing or an excuse, they just weren't writing well for the female characters at that time until 2 years later with Jen and then with Taylor. But yeah. Go no further than, the fact that there were no battleizers for the girls. There were no bikes for the girls, like in the toys or in the show. So, toy sales really, I think, dictated focus. And then obviously Red Ranger gets the most focus out of anybody. So the ladies were handicapped, basically.
Yeah. Ugh. I mean, and we even saw, unfortunately, the situation with poor Corone. Corone practically gave away the battleizer, even though she worked for it.
That was ridiculous. Ridiculous in hindsight. Ridiculous. That's crazy.
Like, girl, you had to go through a whole therapy session to get this shit. And you were just like, you know what? I'm not suited for this. I'll give it to you, Leo. The fuck? Leo ain't did shit but get his ass beat. All he did was get his ass beat by your own demon. So it's like, no, fuck no. Leo ain't deserved that shit. But yeah, and still, once again, patriarchy. But whatever. Because they were like, this is a boys' show, so we have to make sure the boys get like, ugh. But anyway, but yeah, no, Maya just, I don't know, Maya, like y'all said before, Maya did have a really good start. Maya in the first 3 episodes she was really good. Like, I felt like they were really positioning her very well, as they do with Yellow Rangers for whatever reason. Like, they position them very well the first couple episodes, and then after that, they're like, okay, y'all had enough. And, like, it's just so odd how they do Yellow Rangers. It's crazy. But yeah, poor Maya, because she needed more than just being being a ranger for the male gaze. She deserved more than that. Yeah, she was literally just eye candy. That was it. And she deserved more than that. She definitely deserved more. So we got Maya at what number I say, child? Maya at 15.
15?
Yep. Maya at 15. Number 14. This is another one who I was like, yes, she deserved this. Zoe with 37.
Okay. I can understand it. She was a little bit higher for me. She was 11 for me.
Interesting.
It's a mixture of things. I like her actress Jackie is talented. I feel like she gave a decent acting performance. I feel like, her having the dance background helped with her pick up those fight sequences.
Hmm.
She did so good in those fight sequences. And another situation of, introducing a character that seemed like she was going to be really interesting and,
Hmm.
have a nice story throughout the season, but they really didn't do much with her. So I
Hmm.
think for me, this was it was one of those hard things where my my votes in ranking, it was a mixture of how I felt about them, but also what they actually did. So she wasn't going to be high up, but she wasn't that low for me. But like I said, for me, it was the performance that she gave, and I'm a sucker for the civilian or the unmoored fights. So that that's what really got her up there for me. But I can totally understand why she's that low because once again they didn't do a lot for developing her.
Yeah, yeah, no, and I feel the same way. I mean, and once again, it's you position them well,
Yeah.
and then after that, it's we don't know what to do with them after that. And what's
Mhm.
so sucky about this is you literally have three people, three,
Right. Yes. Yes.
three people, and you couldn't write
Oh.
her better than that. Like that is just
Mm.
so offensive. Like
Mhm.
I just don't know what else to say. Like Zoe should have gotten the world. Let's just be very
Mhm.
clear. Zoe should have gotten the
Yeah.
world. When we were covering this show, I distinctly remember how we felt about her, and that was one of the reasons why I put her as low as I did, because
Mhm.
Zoe started out being the most punctual. She was on her shit. She was on her game. She was the best unmoored fighter. I mean, Zoe was kicking ass. I mean, homegirl, she was
Mhm.
thinking on her feet. She was everything at the very beginning. I don't know what happened during season two. I don't know whether
What
she picked
happened?
somebody off.
Mhm.
Do you know what happened? Abraham happened. What's his name in the show? Nate.
Nate,
Right. Yeah.
Nate.
maybe that's what it was. Maybe she got
Nate.
sidetracked and was like, "Ooh, he cute. Ooh, hoo,
Yeah. Nate
hoo."
happened. Because like she
And
was
now
number
I'm
Yeah.
going to be an
So.
idiot.
Yeah.
because like she was number 12 for me. I had such high hopes for her too.
Yes,
Mhm.
Such high hopes.
high hopes.
That
And I'm just
really
like,
sucks.
girl,
Like she had so much potential,
so much
and then
potential.
they half-assed the relationship that she was in. I and then that was it. That was like it.
Yeah,
Everything about her wanting to be something more than she was like a cleanup crew, right?
yeah. Well, she was a laundry girl. That was the whole her
Laundry
whole
girl. Okay.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
She
was a
wants to be more
whole
than just
joke.
that. And like what did you do? I guess she wasn't in the laundry room anymore. I can't remember, but like like being more like you got to be a ranger, that was cool. But like, where's like what does that mean to you? What does that look like to you and your personal growth? And we didn't really get that.
We didn't get that at all. And what sucks is that unfortunately, and this is just something I feel like just in general when it comes to ranger relationships with the girls, is that as soon as they get into relationships, especially if they start out being single and then they jump into a relationship with a dude in the show, automatically they are reduced to the girlfriend. There is
Uh,
no more characterization.
well,
There's no like their story stops. Their story just stops. It is halted.
The
and
I
And
guess
now
the
they're just the girlfriend.
it makes it worse because it's almost kind of like you know how it traditionally when women get married they just become the wife, they become the housewife. That's it.
Mhm.
Like they become the mom, but there's nothing more to them, to her being the mom,
That's
like other than maybe a soccer mom, or like a helicopter
yeah.
mom. But But that's it. She's just still a mom, or she's a wife. There's nothing beyond.
Yeah, I could see that. I could honestly see that mindset being exactly what was in their mind when they will write this. Um, I would say what like the only time where this doesn't apply would be Kimberly because she still had focus episodes and stuff on her own after Tommy.
Kimberly was the golden child. She got everything.
I don't. Here's the thing, like, and we could use Kimberly for example. We could. My only issue with Kimberly though is that Kimberly, from the jump, it was like she started out being self-sufficient, all this stuff. Tommy came around, she was still a little self-sufficient, but you could tell when it was like, oh, Tommy. Like, it was always like, okay, so Zordon calling, hey Zordon, what's going on? Zordon, Rangers, there's Rita Repulsa and Goldar, they're attacking the city. We need you to go and apprehend them. Right. What about Tommy? Remember him, his powers? Well, Kimberly, his powers are not working right now. We have to wait. And she's like, and you see her like soaking. Girl, the city is in danger. It does not fucking matter.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a really, really good impression.
You need to go. Like, I'm sorry. Why the fuck are we worrying about Tommy right now? We don't care.
We don't.
Like,
we really
people
don't.
are literally being shot up in the street by Goldar and some putties, and you talking about what about Tommy? Girl, priorities. So that's why I'm just like, yes, I could see what you meant with Kimberly. I completely get it. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know what it is. It's just always, whenever girls are in relationships on this show, their defect, like their fallback is always, I have to support the guy. I have to support the guy. I have to support the guy. Like, no, you don't. You don't. Like, it's just so real. It's so weird.
I don't know. I felt like I feel you on the Kimberly thing. I felt like even though, and before you went on that, I was going to say like even though she was about her man, that was her man. She loved that guy. But I feel like maybe they were trying to get across, you know, this guy, he can't do his job. Like it means something to him to be a ranger, and it's taking like a physical toll on him, the losing the powers and like a mental one as well. And this is his girlfriend, so her emoting and like having empathy for him, that was I felt like I actually felt like it was a good character trait because it wasn't just her, it was Jason too, because he had the guilt of not being able to, save his powers.
Here's the thing with Jason. First of all, we all know Tommy and Jace reverse. So they were definitely like on each other's bumpers like crazy. And like Jason, I mean, honestly, I understood Jason a lot more than I understood Kimberly. I say that because Jason to me was like, they both, when they first met, when they was first doing their fight and everything, you could tell that there was a commonality between the two. Jason and Tommy are literally the same guy. When you really honestly think about those two characters, they're the same guy, literally the same exact guy. The difference is that Tommy is a little more driven in terms of he is one-track minded when it comes to certain things. Jason, on the other hand, kind of sees everything around while also being one-track minded. But that's really the only difference between the two characters. Because as you've seen in their evolution, Tommy literally was still one-track minded. He was still being a ranger all the way up until he was an old ass man. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was being a whole teacher and still talking about I'm fighting evil. Meanwhile, Jason went off with Emily and living his best life, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. And maybe even Kimberly, you know what I'm saying? Living his best life. You know what I'm saying? And like he popped in like once later on. So once or twice later on. So it's like for me, I just always kind of felt like they're the same guy, but they just took different directions. So I understood why Jason felt the way he felt for Tommy. Meanwhile, Kimberly, on the other hand, it's like, girl, the man ain't dead. He's not dead. Like Kimberly was always acting like he was going to die. Like he's not dead. Like he just doesn't have powers.
In her eyes, okay, Kimberly's dramatic. In her eyes, he's dying. Okay, let the woman be.
I mean, that's how she was acting. Cause it's like, girl, I'm so sorry, but you met him when he wasn't a Power Ranger. He lost his powers. Oh well, he's not fighting with you. But still, you yourself, you, Kimberly, Pink Ranger, you have a job to do. Girl, screw him. Like, if his powers ain't holding up, if his powers are a little limp, I'm sorry. They can't get up. Oh well. Like he'll get that later. Like he'll pop energy Viagra later on and come out and help you and save the day. Like, I'm sorry, like, girl, calm the fuck down. It's not that deep. So I say that to say with Zoe, it was like when it came to Zoe started out well, and then it was like as soon as Nate came, it was like she started making the stupidest decisions. Like, it was just like, now all of a sudden the girl act like she can't even do her job anymore. And like season 2 was the biggest example of that. Like homegirl was dropping the ball every 5 minutes. Like she was just doing stupid stuff that was like, oh, Zoe would never do this, but she did. Like homegirl threw a freaking control collar on Keeper. Why? What made you think Keeper was a threat? Like, what are you doing?
Because
he was a creepy looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was wearing a whole cape. He was lurking in the forest. Like, I'm just saying.
But my thing is, you could have easily apprehended him. Why did you need to throw the control collar on him? Like, girl.
He wants to make sure she got him, okay? That's how every horror movie should be. You make sure you get the guy.
It's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, and then but the biggest offender for me was when her stupid behind went on that cliff. She accidentally, fooling around with Nate and being all Google gaga over Nate, accidentally disintegrated her brother's bone finding or whatever. And then she decided, you know what? Well, I solve big problems. I fix big problems. And then she goes up there by herself.
Big problems. I solve them.
Right, whatever that stupid quote she was always saying. Then she goes up there by herself with no assistance, didn't ask anybody for help, goes up there and almost gets herself killed. And it's like, for what are you doing this for? Like, girl, that's what it's just like. She's just doing stupid stuff. Like, it's just like, girl, like, I'm sorry, but Zoe just, for her being the last Yellow Ranger that we got, it left a bad taste in my mouth. And that's why she was low for me. Like, for her being the last one, I'm just like, damn, like that was their only chance for a Yellow Ranger. And this is the example that we're left with. The last one is Zoe. Damn. You know, like, I'm low-key, but high-key in my head, I'm just keeping Ion up there for our last example. Even though he's not yellow, he's gold. Still, I'm like, because I can't let Zoe be my final example. I just can't. I just can't let her be my final yellow because, yeah, Zoe just, I'm sorry. But, yes, Zoe is number 14. Number 13, Lily with 34.
That's fair.
I actually wanted her higher.
High. I'm
that high.
That high.
Really?
But I kind of liked her.
Yeah, I liked her.
She was another one. I no solo focus really. She her character, that was another like really sweet character. I remember that was something that I remembered. I can't remember what exactly the scenario was, but I remember she was in the pizzeria. I can't remember if she was talking to one of the boys or friend, but she was just so like sticky sweet. It's just ridiculous how nice she was. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. But she didn't really get to do much outside of that. I remember the episode where she went bad, but it was like, okay, a leather jacket and being a little cold. Okay. One of the best things though was every time that she morphed, and then when she would do that power up where they would change the costumes to white.
Oh, you talking
Oh
about
my
their
god,
whatever that super power up thing is?
that thing, yeah. Yo,
Master mode, Jungle Master mode.
that stunt fighter was on their shit. Like I was excited every time that Lily morphed because I knew that fight scene would look amazing. And that was like the best thing with her sweetness and her morphed fights. Character wise, they didn't give her nothing. I guess she
Yeah.
was like the pawn in the testosterone battle between Casey and I'm thinking of his real name. Theo. Like they both liked her. I don't think that they did enough with that, honestly. Even though, like at the same time, that's super awkward because that's like our core cast, and then you just have the girl being lusted over. It's kind of weird. But I mean, I guess they would have given her something. I guess I don't know.
Here's the
It
thing,
was
and
sad. She didn't do anything. She didn't get anything.
for me, I have to agree with what Violet said. Violet
Mm-hmm.
said something to the point of like when it comes to Lily, they already made her so sweet and so positive, and they made her basically the person that solves all the tension between Theo and Casey. That adding anything else to her character would have been almost kind of like would have almost been a detriment to her character instead of actually helping her have more character development. So that's almost kind of like in the sense of the situation with Dana in Lightspeed Rescue, where she was this focused girl who was just like she's becoming a ambulance, whatever, a EMT or whatever, or was that it, or was she becoming a nurse? I can't remember. But anyway, she was so focused. A nurse. There we go. Becoming a nurse, and she was training for this all this time, and blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
She gets this one moment where she's like a model, and now all of a sudden she's an asshole. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like it just came so
Very
left field, right?
sure.
Right. So,
But she ain't have a character, so
well, I mean, yeah. I mean, she didn't have a character, but in Lily's case, I kind of felt that was the same way. It was like Lily's character was only just to be, just the girl who basically mends shit together and just be super sweet and nice. That was it. That was her character. That was all she was meant to. That was all she was meant to do. That was it. And you know, I felt like for me that was the reason why I'm okay with her being here in this place, because she didn't do anything outstanding to make her be like, yeah, she's this great person. She didn't do that. She didn't do anything like that. But she wasn't offensive. Like she wasn't a character that was like, oh my goodness, what the heck? She wasn't that either. But also at the same time, it was like, she's cool, and plus she had, like you said, her stunt double nailed it every time. But also her stunt double was the guy who basically does all the females anyway. They just let him cut up. Like that's really what it was. They just let him just let loose. And he just decided that he wanted to be out here just killing it. But yeah, I mean, it was the same stunt guy who was Aisha's stunt double, Tanya's stunt double, Cassie's stunt double, Kendrick's stunt double.
He was there forever. Wow.
Yeah, like he was almost every female stunt double for like years. So, so yeah. He obviously made Lily look good. Like, I mean, like he made Lily look phenomenal. But other than that, I mean, that was pretty much it. I mean, she didn't really have anything else.
Maybe that was real quick. Maybe that was the and I'm sorry for not developing your character. You get to have kick-ass fight scenes, even though you're not actually in them. But I mean, you get the voice act them. Yay!
Yeah. I mean, that's it. It's just like, okay, I guess. But yeah, that was pretty much my thing with Lily. It was just giving real like she's just here, and she has a great battle cry, and she definitely put the guys, she definitely put the guys in their places. Like, I mean, especially when them two was bickering, and she was like, "Fix it." I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, like she had her moments where she was like, "Get your shit together," but also at the same time, it was just giving real like, "Okay, well, she cool sometimes. She alright." So yeah, Lily, she wasn't offensive. Like I said, she wasn't offensive, but also at the same time, I wasn't like a huge fan of Lily, but I tolerated her. I liked her. Lily. Lena, what you think? Lord, I call Lena Lily. Lord have mercy.
That's okay. I overall liked her. She, like I mentioned earlier, she was number 9 on my list. And I felt like because she was the only girl in the group, she did get quite a bit of a focus, so which was nice. And you know what? Overall, like, she was quirky, she was cute, she was giving, she was literally everyone's best friend. Like, you can't ask for anything better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm happy with it where she is overall. She was kind of forgetful until I remember right. She was the only girl there, so can't be that forgetful.
And you would think that just like we were talking about with Zoe, you would think that would work in her favor because we actually did see that work in 3 teams before for the female.
It worked on Ninja Storms.
That and Dino Thunder,
yeah. But this, no, it didn't really work for Lily. It was kind of disappointing. I felt like she definitely should have gotten way more focus, or at least have something work in her favor. But it did not. It was very much giving Zoe, except thank God she didn't play stupid and she didn't get a boyfriend. Thank God. Thank God. So that's why she was higher on my list, because she didn't, she didn't call her, what's his face? He'd still be looking creepy though, but at least she didn't make mistakes. So yeah, no, she was definitely overall higher, and I don't hate her. I don't love, but she's not like memorable.
Yeah. Because like I agree with that. Like, because I guess for me, it wasn't that she wasn't memorable. It was just more so of like, because that, but also like, I felt like because they used her as the person that was the mediator, there's not much that they could do with her. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't have that much conflict. That's what it is. That's what it was. She didn't have much conflict.
No, she was everyone's best friend.
she was everybody's best friend. Like, she was the girl who was just like, she just saw good in everybody. And that was the thing about her and Camille. And like, I actually liked that episode with her and Camille. Like, where she met Camille for the first time, and Camille was in human form. And like, you know, Camille was all upset because Daishi basically was like, bitch, get the fuck out. And
I mean, like, he should have known that because he was already given like very misogynist and very like.
She wanted that D. She was obsessed with him.
Oh yeah, she loves herself some Daishi. And then when he inhabited Jared, that she really got the Joneses for him then. And she was like, ooh, this strong jawline man right here. Yep. Oh, he can get this good chameleon coochie. Yep. Oh, yes, honey. He can get this chameleon coochie. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. And the thing is, like, I know they were trying to play it off like she was loyal, but I'm like, no, she was just giving thirsty.
She was horny. Camille was horny. Yeah. She was trapped in that wall for 3,000 years, bitch.
True.
Girl, she was horny.
True. But you know, they were trying. They were trying to give her that loyalty side, that like she's dedicated. I'm like, no. We all see it. We all know what's up.
We all know. We all knew. Homegirl was horny, okay? She was just like, listen, I need some. Ooh, you inhabited this fine ass man? Oh, yes, definitely. And Daishi was like, we got a job to do, and you're not fulfilling it. And he was just like, uh-oh. And he kicked her behind out. So then after that, like, she all sulking and all sad. And like, Lily was just like, you're a good person. Like, you know, all this stuff like that. And she making her feel good. And it's just like, she really, like, I really like that episode because she really made Camille really, like, question shit. And be like, damn, like, I really am being treated bad by this man. You know? So, like, I actually kind of liked it. It was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, she's making her really think. But even then, I'm still like, like, but girl, you ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing enough for me. So, you know, I don't know. Like, that was my thing with Lily. It was just like, she didn't have much conflict. So she was just left feeling very MMPR-ish. Like, she was just a really goody good girl. And that was it. That was her personality. So I can understand why people liked her. But also at the same time, like, I can also understand if somebody didn't like her either. I get it because she ain't did nothing. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So moving right along. So we had Lily at 13, number 12, men with 32.
Wow.
I'm okay with that.
That's fine.
She was number 13 on my list. She was slightly below Zoe, and before Chip, but you know, that was a good number for her.
Yeah, number 12 is pretty good. Number 12.
She was actually 8 on mine. Oh. I really enjoyed her. I love that what was that?
Oh, I was gonna say, I wish we got more of her.
Me too.
Yes. So I loved that whole special Once and Always was about her. It was basically a whole focus episode for her. We got to see her deal with the loss of her mother and Trini, and we got to see her just be fueled by vengeance and anger and hate. We got to see her interact with Billy and Zach, who are two of her Trini's closest friends. Damn, it would have been cool to see her interact with Kimberly. But anyway, then we got to see her learn a lesson, and that moment where we probably all had this moment. The moment where Rita hit her with the same spell that killed her mom, but it hit Trini's morpher, which saved her, and she had that flash of her mom. I lost it on that part. Oh, and to see her finally morph, to see how much fun she had in the Megazord, it was just, it was so, she was really fun. And I really, really wish we got to see more of her. I wish that we got to see her in that one episode of Cosmic Fury, or if they could have, shit, they could have somehow wrote her in to an episode of Cosmic Fury. They could have, but I really liked her. I really wanted to see more. I hope somehow, some way, whenever Hasbro figures out their game plan for Power Rangers, they could bring her back. But we know that we might be getting a reboot of the whole franchise, so who knows? But
Who
I
knows?
would love to see her again.
Oh my God.
But
So
I really liked her.
speaking of which, as much as I like Friend, no, Friend, right. How do I say her name now? The yellow one, not the orange one.
Fran.
Friend.
Fran.
Yes, as much as I loved her, I kind of thought that it would have been Min that would have been the next Ranger in that season.
That's interesting.
That's what I genuinely thought until like obviously it was 1,000% like yeah, this is gonna be
I'm sure wasn't going to do that. Yeah.
yeah. Because the fact that David Yost was there, right? So I was like, okay, so if Billy's there, there's a really good chance that Min might be there, right? No,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Mm-hmm.
Very unfortunate. Just no. So yeah, I'm everything you're saying, I agree with you. I wish we can get more. Hopefully we get more of her. Or who knows, maybe with the reboot, she is a new character. One of those like back in time situations. Who knows?
Ooh, what if they go back in time and she plays Trini?
That's what I mean, right? Like the whole back in time. Because like, you know what gave that idea? 1984, the American Horror Stories that we mentioned earlier. Because I was like, what if like with the reboot they create an alternative dimension and or whatever, and she
Mm-hmm.
still exists but not as her, as someone else. I think that'd be cool
You know
too.
what when you said that, I actually thought of what they're doing with DC, the DC films, because
Yes,
they're doing that, and like we could see some of the actors from previous things as different characters now
yes, this
if they rehire them.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's just I love the idea of multiple dimensions or universes, a multiverse. I really I hate this about myself. I'm too much of a realist with things sometimes. So like it's like, oh my God, they can't do that. It wouldn't make any sense. But like as a writer, especially in a fantastical world, you can do anything. And my first real taste of that probably would have been when they did it with the CWBC shows, when they did the multiverse one there. And I'm like, oh wow. And then like a light bulb moment, duh, they did it in the comics already, so they could do it here too. So that kind of like, just to see it in my face like that, it opened up my mind to that. And then the fact that Power Rangers has a multiverse that we've also seen explored a little bit. Why not? Just have fun. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I honestly, the thing is, and just in general with men specifically, I like men a lot. And yes, hopefully in the future, whenever they do decide to go ahead and give us a new Power Rangers in whatever way, shape, or form, I would love to see Charlie come back. I feel like, honestly, I would even love to see any of the older actors come back, but as different people. I would love to see David Yost be somebody's teacher, or Zach be, one of the kids' parents, or something like that. Like, but have nothing to do with any of the Rangers. He just pops up as like, oh yeah, this is my child. Like he's at school and he knows one of the Rangers and one of the Rangers bullied him. Some bullshit. I don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? But just come back in different ways just to let us know, hey, that person used to be on the show as whomever. You know what I'm saying? I would
Mm-hmm.
love that to happen. I guess my thing with that is that there were some missed opportunities. I definitely feel like there was a missed opportunity with not having men be there in Cosmic Fury, but I also feel like it just sucks because Harley did her damn thing with that character. And for us to
Mm-hmm.
have fallen in love with this character in less than an hour,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like for us to fall in love with her in less than an hour is that's something. That's a huge feat. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, damn, like I want more of her, but 9 times out of 10, we're probably not gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the hurtful part about that character. So it's like, damn, like with what we do see from her, I do like her. I like her a lot. I mean, I think she was like, I want to say she was pretty high up on my list. I think she was like midway through. I know, wait a minute, was she top 10 for me? Let me double check because I think she might have been top 10. Um, no, she was just under. She was 11. So
Mm-hmm.
like, she was almost a top 10 Ranger for me because like I really liked her. I really liked her a lot.
She was
Um,
she
so
was top
yeah.
10 for me. She was number 8 for me actually.
Yeah. So I just really wanted to see I really wish that we could have seen her a little bit more. That's all. And that's the only reason why I didn't put her in the top 10 was because like it was like, damn, I just wish that there was more. Like that we could have just seen more of her. Because what we got, like, I just know men would have been a damn good Yellow Ranger from then on out. Like I
Mm-hmm.
just know she would have been good because literally she has Zach and Billy and Kimberly, you know what I'm saying, and Jason and all them like helping her be, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
they're basically helping her and training her. So even after they retire, homegirl's still gonna be fighting. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And more than likely, she's probably gonna be leading the pack at that point because she has so much
That's really
experience.
cool. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm just like in my head, I'm like, I could see a whole world with men being literally like the leader of the team. Because at that point, she's
Mm-hmm.
like, I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wish that there was just more. Just we got more from her.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all. So yeah, men is number 12. Number 11, Elizabeth, aka Z Delgado, with
Mm-hmm.
31.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes.
she was actually in my top 10. She was number 10. Once again, we talk about somebody that didn't get a lot of focus, but there was
Yeah.
something about Monica's performance that really stuck with me, and I loved the relationship with Jack, which I wish
Mm-hmm.
could have been like there could have been more development with that as well because they were homies, they were best friends, they were family basically,
Yeah.
that chosen family, and I just loved she was feminine, but she had like a bit of an edge to her too. I've once again awesome more fights with her. She had the cool power of the multiplying power, so she can make the copies of herself, and so there could be an army of Z's fighting the Crybots or whatever.
That
Um,
always fascinated me. I was like, oh, they ate that. That was so cool.
hmm hmm I'm thinking one of the first fight where it was Jack and Z versus Skybridge and um, oh my god, what's her name? Pink.
Sid?
Sid, yes, Sid, yes. That was so much fun. That was so much fun. I remember it was super forbidden at this point to be watching Power Rangers because when was that? That was the beginning of '05, so I was in first year of high school. Me and my best friend at the time definitely watched it, but like we couldn't talk about it. But those fight scenes were so freaking cool. But
Disney
I just
was in their bag with the Unmore
mm-hmm,
fight scenes. Like they were in their whole bag with that.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it was yeah, it was. I had fun. I had fun with that character for the little bit that they gave as far as focusing on her, which ultimately like we had to grasp for straws even with the top 10 because some of them still didn't get the most focus in the world, but there was something that grabbed us all with them. So I really did enjoy Z's character. I thought Monica May did a really good job with what she was given to make me care for somebody that got such little focus.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that 100%. Like I definitely cared a lot more about Z than I would have with anybody else because like she wasn't like Z was. Here's the thing about Z, like, and I think that's what I liked about her. To me, it was weird because sometimes I thought Z was a woman of color
I
because
know,
the
right?
way she was neck rolling and was
Yeah.
like she was giving like I mean that neck was constantly in rotation. I mean she was talking with her neck, talking with her hands, like you know what I'm saying. Like she was a whole round the way girl.
Remember this? Remember the scarf in the hoops?
Okay, okay, okay. V was the only girl, literally the only girl that I can remember who was wearing big hoop earrings. The only girl, like
Who's
by far, she's the only girl.
Trini? Trini did it.
Oh, Trini wore big hoops when?
Yeah, season 2.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Helmet. Yeah,
But
I definitely remember her helmetless, wearing these big
yeah.
ass.
Oh yeah, that's right. She did. She did. She did. You're right. You're right. They were silver. I remember that. I remember that. But like Z was constantly like you could tell Z was that girl. Like she was just like she was wearing the scarves, like she had on the big the knee high combat boots. You know what I'm saying? Like she was just that
Mm.
girl. And I just love that about Z. And I was just like, dang, like, is she is she a girl of color? Like, is she mixed with something? Like, what's going on? Whole white girl. But it was just but I just loved her though. Like I still absolutely love that character. And I just really wish that she had something more to do instead of just being, just that girl that she like her storyline wrapped up very early. Her storyline wrapped up like right after the Sam arc. That little Sam episode, her storyline was done. Because like when you find out that Doggy knew exactly who she was and then left her ass on the street, like knew exactly who he was, who the girl was, and was like he saved her from getting hurt, and then was like, all right, now you're gonna be homeless, peace out, and dipped the fuck out on her. Like you ain't even tried to take her into SPD. You knew she was on her own. And he was just like, yeah, girl, you're going to continue being on your own. Peace out. And that was it. So, it's like, damn, doggy, you ruthless. But, like, it's interesting, though. Like, that was the end of her storyline. It was just like, okay, we're done with Z. And she was just basically just a ranger that was just there at that point. Yeah. So, it's like, oh, well. Yeah, Lena, you got anything for Z?
No, I you guys hit all the right points. I agree with you guys. Like I liked her. She was number 11 for me. She's exactly where she needs to be for the overall chart rating.
I forgot if I said she was number 10 for me.
Yeah, I think she was I want to say for me she was let me see. She was number 10. She was number 10 for me.
There we go. So we weren't far. So we're at 11 and 10.
Yeah, like we all pretty much just kind of thinking the same thing for Z.
Yeah.
So
she's where
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like she was the only one that I honestly felt like she fell exactly where she was supposed to fall. So I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. Now here's the one that I know y'all probably gonna hate me for. I am so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry because y'all probably gonna hate me for this, but also I'm not sorry because hell nah.
Yeah.
Number 10, Kira with 29.
Oh,
I'm sorry. It was me. It was me.
Oh.
It was me. And the reason, and I'm gonna tell you why, it is all because of Emma Lahana.
That's not.
It is all because of Emma Lahana. The character, I'm not one of those people who are like, I can differentiate between the art and the artist. I'm not that person. I'm not. I'm not that person. I will tell you right off the bat. Listen, once you do whatever, I don't care what it is. You do whatever, you do something like something crazy. It is however I felt about your character, that's done. Like it is what it is. Because whenever I see you now, I see the actor. And I'm like, I'm good on you. Like I'm good. And that's exactly how I feel with Kira. Like I used to, when I first made my list, Kira was number 2. Literally, I had Kira at number 2 on my list. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, no. And I made her number 22. I'm like, I can't. Like, I can't do this now. So, I mean, as much as I love Kira in Dino Thunder, I thought Kira was probably one of the most standout characters in the whole entire show. Like, Emma Lahana acted her ass off as Kira, and she did a damn good job. Plus, let's not forget, her stunt double was out here, like, doing butterfly kicks and splits and shit, busting it down and twirling all over the floor, kicking motherfuckers. So, I mean, I'm like, listen.
And she had the canary cry.
Okay, and she had a canary cry. Like, Homegirl was a badass, and I loved Kira. Not to mention her fashion was Avril Lavigne inspired. Chef's kiss. Loved it. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I still can't look past who played her. I can't. And I'm like, sorry.
Yeah, she's number 3 for me. I base this solely on just the characters, not the actors, just the characters. She was number 3. She's everything for me as Kira. And yeah, what about you? Well, where did you think?
For me, she was number 4.
Nice.
Kira, she was just so freaking likable. Like oh man, she was so cool. She was so cool. She was a talented girl. She could sing, and that's brave to have your guitar out on the front lawn at school and just sing for not even for your classmates, just because you just wanted to. Her attitude, like she had like the rebel edge in that she had her opinions, she had the way that she felt about things, but she wasn't for like the bullshit with like bullying or anything like that. She could kind of like Veronica Mars, if anybody watched that. She was kind of like the tough girl that had been through some shit, but when it came to bullying people, like, no, we're not doing that. And then she was open to being friends with different types of people. I love that she told, oh my God, I'm about to call him Cole. Connor. She told Connor about himself. Connor was very misogynistic, a jock, like the stereotypical jock, just an asshole. And she told him about himself multiple times. And I thought that was really cool. You know, I've loved, we always say this, one of the coolest things about Dino Thunder's cast was the fact that those characters weren't friends to begin with. They were 3 totally different people, and they were basically forced together. And then because they were forced together, we got to see them become friends. Of course, Kira and Ethan, they started to like each other much easier than it was to start to like Connor, but we got to see that become a thing and they all became friends. I always loved her and Trent. I thought that that was so cute, and it's a shame that they didn't get to fully flesh that out because I think it there was just something about those first couple of seasons from the Disney era where those actors were given, like they weren't, like Emmy award winning performances, but they were decent performances. And with Emma and um, oh my God, I usually know everybody's real names. What's Trent's real name again?
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, yes. Emma and Jeffrey, amazing chemistry, really decent actors. It was really fun to watch them, all the tension and stuff and the chemistry. And I really wanted to see what a relationship would have looked like because we at least got a little bit. It was implied that Tori and Blake were dating in Ninja Storm, but I thought they were at least going to give us something like that for Dino Thunder, and they didn't. And the nail in the coffin for that was the prom episode, and like they're talking about not having dates. I'm like, what the hell? Trent's right there. Oh, they just dropped the whole thing. Damn. But
Now go back because you were like Tori and Blake. They dropped the ball with them too because they didn't date. They were just like they were making googly eyes at each other, and that was it.
I thought that was the case, but then I thought they totally dropped it. But there was an
Yeah.
episode where they were God, I think the monster was like a game show host or something. And they were forced to, I don't know if they were forced to fight, but he was fighting through something to get to Tori. And the dialogue made it seem like they were dating because they still liked each other. And I thought they had totally dropped it, but they didn't. But then, there was nothing like concrete.
They definitely dropped that because like it was evident, especially in the team up with Dino Thunder. It was obvious. It was obvious that they were not dating. Like
that was afterwards, though. They could have broken up.
Even then, like, but that's the thing. Even then, they still weren't like. Even towards the end of the season, their season, they weren't dating. Like there was nothing about them that gave like, oh, these two people are like they're together. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have that kind of thing at all. Like basically, what it was giving was it was definitely cock teasing for sure. Like they were kind of like they would present an idea of like, oh yeah, they might be together or they have some chemistry, and then they'd let it go. They'd throw out the possibility and then they'd reel it in. And that was like a really big thing that was with Disney, from what I heard, that like the writers were very like conflicted because it was like, from what I heard, it was like I guess like the execs were kind of like, oh, the boys don't want to see relationships. They don't want to see couples. They don't want to see any of that. So the writers were forced to not put people together, but they just created the idea of these people being together. So that was it. But they never ever gave us anything concrete because they were forced not to make it concrete. But yeah, like they weren't together. Like they were just kind of like trolling us with it, basically being like, hey, they might be together, they might not. Same thing with Kira and Trent. They were like, oh yeah, like they like each other, but do they? Because then you find out at the very end of Dino Thunder, even with the episodes after that, when they do come back, it's like they act like they're just friends. So yeah, like I just leave it at that. Like I'm like, when it comes to Power Rangers and relationships, either they drop the ball really bad and they pull stunts like that, or they just make the girls mindless zombies. Like, it's freaking weird. But yeah, like Kira, I love Kira so much. Like, that character is just I just love her. Like, I love that character. But when I was thinking about current events, I was like, I can't make her be number two. Not with all the stuff that's happening. And I can't. So yeah, I was like, yeah, she's gonna be number 22. I have to put her at, because honestly, I wasn't gonna put her on the list. Like, I wasn't gonna put Kira on the list at all. And then I was like, no, I need to put her here. So I just made her number 22. Because I already knew y'all were gonna have her be higher. I kind of had a feeling you did, and then sure enough, I saw it and I was like, yeah. So I was like, I feel comfortable with this. So yeah. But other than that, yeah, my list, she's bare bottom. So number 9, I felt good about this one. Number 9, Katie with 26.
Okay. I had Katie at number 6, but number 9 works.
Oh, I had Katie at 15.
Oh,
I had Katie at number 5.
Yeah, wow. I figured you guys were gonna have her high. So I didn't dislike Katie. Once again, they did nothing with this woman the entire season. She got, I believe, 2 focus episodes, and then that was it. And then she was just in the background. I really, I liked kind of like the big sister vibe, protector vibe she had for Trip. And she was a sweetheart with superhuman strength. So the scenes where she would hug somebody and crush them like Wes, that was really funny. I liked her solo episodes. Even though I think the time travel one was like really, that was really confusing. But the family episode, her missing her family, that was 1,000 years in the future. I thought that was cool, and it was cool to see the effect that of the time travel, like what it had on the Rangers from the future. But that was kind of it. They didn't really do anything outside of those 2 episodes with her. And
she had that episode with the guy who had the camera and he exposed them.
Like that one. That was cool. So what? 3?
She had 3
out of 43.
Yeah, out of 43.
It sucks because I don't feel like, I feel so bad, one of our only Black female Rangers to have her that low on my list, but I just really, it was the Jen West featuring Eric show. So I felt like all of my attention really did go into them because the other 3 got the bare minimum. I would say maybe Trip got the best out of those other 3. But like poor Katie, she just didn't get a lot, and because of that, I wasn't able to completely connect to her like I would have loved to. So that's why I put her like that.
I get it. I get that. I would probably say if anything, I agree with that to a certain degree. Because while you are 110% correct with the analysis of out of 43 episodes, she only got 3. Yes. Like, that's fucked up because Deborah did her damn thing, especially on the episode when she was missing her family. Like, she acted down. She did her thing. Like, homegirl really put some work in, because that part where she was like, what? Like, I'm like, oh yes. Yes, Miss Mamas, you better act. You better give us an Emmy Women performance because homegirl was acting. So like, I felt that. Like, I loved that about her. Like, any part that even when she was in the background, I'll tell you exactly what Deborah was giving. Deborah, to me, kind of gave Nakia, in the sense of when the camera wasn't on her specifically, she was in the background doing work. She was in the background because Deborah's faces were hilarious. Like, when stuff would be happening, she would just be reacting to stuff. And the stuff that she'd be reacting to, her faces were constantly funny. Like, her facial expressions were always like, the fuck? It was either the fuck, or she was in the background just a grinning. Like, I see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, but she was constantly judging what was going on. And I love that about Katie. And it was just like, that was her personality. Like, she was always in the background seeing what was going on. But when you actually got to see her, it was like, oh, I kind of get her. I feel her. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, she didn't get much to do. I personally still got to connect with her on some level because she was still in the background participating. Whereas if she was pulling a Lucas and was in the background doing absolutely nothing, being invisible, I probably wouldn't feel that way. Because I'm sorry, I'm no shade to Michael, no shade, but that man did absolutely nothing. When the camera wasn't on him, he was just there. Like, he wasn't reacting to anything. Not even that. I mean, I would have rather him just play with his hair and look in the mirror all goddamn day. I would have rather that. But he just, like, I don't, like, and like I said, this is no shade to him. Like, I'm not trying to knock him at all. But as an actor, even if it's not your focus scene, do something. You know what I'm saying? React to something. Like, have some sort of opinion on something. That man had nothing. It was just like he was a blank slate. Like, he was just there because the scene said he had to be there. Whereas Katie was like, she was giving you some sort of face. Like, she was either, like I said, she was grinning, judging the situation, or she was like looking around like, what the fuck is going on? So it was like, so it was always something with her. So I always kind of enjoyed that, but it was criminal that she never got anything to do. That was my old issue. That was my whole issue. Because I think that Deborah could have really knocked out the part if she was given something to do. And then what makes it so crazy, her Sentai counterpart had a whole storyline with the cameraman, with the reporter. Because, like, there was a female reporter who was so fixated on trying to find out who Time Yellow was. And Time Yellow, Damon, thought that he wasn't attractive and he wasn't good enough to win her. So he said the Blue Ranger to go in his place because he thought that she was attracted to him. When in actuality, she didn't like him like that. When she met him and she met the Blue Ranger out of suit, and she was like, I don't really like him like that. But when she actually met Damon and found out that Damon was Time Yellow, like, they fell in love. That was the whole plot. And I would have loved if they would have given Katie something like that. Whereas, like, the guy finds out who she is, and then it turns into a situation where now this guy is literally in the news, constantly just writing up articles or constantly taking pictures to make the Time Rangers look good. And then they also have a relationship going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have loved to have had that, but they dropped the ball. So, you know, that would have been more episodes for Katie. But they just elected to just make it a one episode thing, and that was it, which I felt was criminal. It was just like, damn, like, y'all really did make it the Jen and West show featuring Eric. You know, so yeah, that was my only issue. But I actually did enjoy Katie in general. And every scene that she was in, I always felt was great. So yeah, like, that's why I put her up high. I guess for me, Katie is one of those people who I'm like, it's more of nostalgia and what I wish she had. versus what she actually had.
You said it beautifully. That's exactly why I put her up so high.
Yeah. It's like you wish she had more and you like what she was giving, but she just didn't get enough.
Exactly.
You know? So yeah.
In our mind, she gets more.
Exactly. Like she just gets more. Like she deserves to be in the top. Like, put some respect on Katie's name. Like she needs more. Now here is the next one. We got another double jeopardy, y'all. For 7 and 8. This is hard for me because I love both these characters. This is hard. We got Aisha, the Yellow Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, at 25, but we also have Ninja Storm Dustin with 25. So who is taking the number 7 slot and who's taking number 8?
Oh, I have Dustin as number 8, so I will keep him at number 8.
Aisha's number 7?
Sure.
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that, honestly. Go ahead.
Yeah, for me, I think it would be Aisha 8 and Dustin 7.
Okay, show your work.
For me, I say Aisha 7 and Dustin 8 because Aisha had the amazing Megazord scene that just kicked Ivan Ooze out into the sky. So
boom. Yes.
That did it for me. That did it for me.
Yes, Lena, you read my mind because that's the exact reason why I picked her. That is the exact reason. I was like, this black woman is out here saving the world by herself. Yes.
So, like, I'll be honest, she wasn't that high on my personal list. She was 16 for me. Only because overall for me, I felt like I think, you know what, to be honest, she was overshadowed by Kimberly. And and I barely remember her. You know what I mean? I only know more about her now, but overall, she was overshadowed by Kimberly, right? So if I have to pick a moment in time where I do remember her solo, would be that scene. And of course, that scene is so iconic, right? So yeah, so she was a lot lower on my list, but for the number 7, 8 slot, she would be Justin.
I agree. For me, she was number 7 for me. And Dustin actually was number 5 for me. I know, right?
Wow. That's a shocker. I'm kind of surprised, actually.
So for me, the reason why I have Aisha lower is once again this lack of character focus. And I remember her as a kid. I remember thinking it was so cool to see a black girl as a superhero. She was our first live action black girl superhero on TV and in a movie. I have to say, like, her beating Ivan Ooze, like her being the deciding factor, for whatever reason, it didn't hit me. I didn't realize that until like a few years ago. I watched that movie a million times, and I remember that she beat him in the balls, but I just didn't realize that was what got him out of there. That's what defeated him. That is such a cool thing for one of the most popular movies of the 90s. The fact that that character got to defeat Ivan Ooze, who's one of the most iconic like villains, not just Power Ranger villains, like people remember Ivan Ooze. So that was really cool. And I love, of course, Stop the Hate Master. That was such a great.
That 2-parter is probably one of my favorite 2-parters in season 3.
Yeah, so it was. I remember when I watched it back as a grown up, I was not really connecting with Aisha because she didn't get a lot to do. And then when we went to season 3, she still wasn't doing anything. And then There was I remember I have remembered she, got into wanting to be a veterinarian and she was working at the animal shelter. I remember that, so that's a little something. And then she got the Stop the Hate Master episode and it just focused on her and I was like, oh my God, yes, yes, this is what I wanted to see. And then I think a couple of episodes, well, I guess you could say a couple, maybe like 7 episodes later, that was like she had like that many left. It seemed like, and then she was just gone. So I just felt like it was such missed potential with her. There were cool things, like I liked the episode where her best friend from Stone Canyon, Shauna, came through to Angel Grove, and she felt a certain kind of way about Aisha not calling her anymore, and like we were best friends since we were little kids, and you're not like we don't talk anymore, and that was kind of cool to see some friction with one of our characters where
Also, rest in peace to her best friend.
mm-hmm, yeah. And it was and like she was at fault. Of course, there's reasons. There's so much going. She's a Power Ranger, so there's not really a lot of time to be calling up your best friend, But I thought that was cool. And oh man, the when she interacted with Scorpina before she knew she was Scorpina, and then she found out she was Scorpina, that was fun. But it just sucks that there wasn't more, like, if they would have kept Scorpina around and then that could have been Aisha's arrival or something, that would have been so cool. But it's just like she just didn't get enough. And in hindsight, she means so much. Like I said before, our first live action black female superhero, that's a big accomplishment and accolade. So I have a lot of love for her, but I just wish that there was more that she got to do. Should I do Dustin now or should I wait?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Dustin, Dustin had a freaking character and he stuck to it that whole time. I don't know if you guys seen this meme before. I thought it was hilarious. I think that Violet might have shared it. It's three dragons. There's two serious dragons, and then there's one dragon with bug eyes and his tongue sticking out. And they said that the two serious dragons was Shane and Tori, and then Dustin was the loopy one. He was an airhead. And it
And he
was
stayed
funny.
that way. He started out an airhead and he ended one.
And he was so charming though. This like the pretty, possibly one of the prettiest Yellow Ranger that we had. Like even up there with the beautiful women we had. Like there was just something about him that just stuck out. I loved his counterparts, of course, that season, but he was just he had me cracking up all the time. Um, I loved his chemistry with everybody because that was something that was really cool about that season. Each one of them had talent. Each one of them had chemistry, so you could pair off any combination, whether it was the three, whether it was Cam, whether it was Blake or Hunter, and you could get something entertaining. So I really enjoyed him. Of course, one of the things that I remember was when he started, the Yellow Ranger morphed, started to get a lot of attention and a lot of became like a local celebrity, and it was like getting to his head. I remember that episode really well, and I remember his lateness is being an issue, getting to training and whatnot. Sometimes it seemed like he wasn't really focused, and then we got to see, like he realized the error of his ways and he got it together, but he still was airhead Dustin, but still a heart of gold and brave. And I really liked him. I really enjoyed him.
Yes, I can agree with everything you said. Here's my thing. Here's my take, right? Dustin, I did enjoy Dustin. I did like him. And he actually it's funny because I genuinely do feel like Dustin did have an he did have an arc. He started out just, I mean, dumb. I mean, dumb, dumb. But and he was charming. He was charming and he was goofy as all hell. But as time went on, while he still remained goofy, like you could tell slowly but surely he started to recognize and realize, yo, like I need to take this more seriously. It even got to his head at one point where he thought that he was the shit. And it was just like, no, baby, no, you're not. But you could tell that there was a progression in his character. And that is one thing that I will say one reason why I did put Dustin higher on my list, because as a male Yellow Ranger, I definitely do think that he made his mark. Because Dustin really was like he was doing his thing. He did his thing. And I enjoyed the goofiness about him, although I swear I felt like every time I was looking at Dustin, I felt like I could smell him. Like he looks like he doesn't wash, and that just drove me nuts.
Not you smelling him through the screen.
I swear, wow. I don't know why he just always gave me that airheaded guy who doesn't wash, and I just knew he smelled bad. And then they even said it in the show. They even said it. They were like, boy, like, just like how you smell at the ninja practice. He's like, yeah, I do stink. And it's just like, yeah, like, because you do.
I'm confirming it. Ew, wow.
So I'm like, my God, I'm like, I know you don't wash. And they just literally made his character look like the guy that does not wash. No. And I'm like, ew. Like,
not them actually confirming that. Ew.
Yes. So I'm just like, no. But that's the thing. It was just like, I do appreciate all that they did with Dustin. I still feel like in my heart of hearts, this is why I put Aisha over Dustin. For one, Lena already said it. She defeated Ivan Ooze by herself. Like homegirl was just like she was on it. The thing about Aisha to me that I just absolutely loved and adored was the fact that Aisha, she was the one, to me, she felt like the leader of the Stone Canyon trio. Like she was the only one who was the most rational, and she made the most sense out of everything. Adam was quiet. And exactly, she was the most confident. Hell, let's not forget, few episodes down the line, she was already like, hell, I can take out these putties by myself. With the whole fire safety situation. Like, she was like, let me fight that monster. It's my fault. I'm fire safety captain. You know what I'm saying? Like, homegirl was just like, she's like, yo, I got this. Like, trust me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes her overconfidence got the best of her, but still, she was still able to go out there and still do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was somebody who I felt like you could always rely on. And like, I don't know, like out of the Stone Canyon trio, and I'm sorry, even no shade, even out of Trini, like I just kind of felt like Aisha was the girl that you knew could get shit done. You know what I'm saying? Like I just always felt like when I would think about MMPR, and this is no shade to the original 5, to the original 3, no shade. But I love the Stone Canyon trio so much more because, like, me personally, I just loved Aisha. Like, Aisha to me always felt like she felt like the true Yellow Ranger. Not saying that Trini wasn't good, but I just always felt like I had more of a connection to Aisha. Maybe it was the fact that she was a Black girl. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But I just always had more of a connection with her, and it just always felt like homegirl was just like she was getting shit done. And whenever chips were down or whenever they were like, yo, we need this right here, it was like Rocky was too busy having fun and fumbling and was being goofy as all hell. Adam was quiet as a church mouse. And Aisha was the only one that was like, yo, I got it. Tag me in, coach. You know what I'm saying? So like, I always felt like Aisha was the girl that you would be like, if anybody I know got hands and want to throw down, it's going to be her. And you can just tag her in at any moment. And she's coming throughout the air, flying at you and about to punch you in your face. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just always loved Aisha for that. And then also too, I felt like Aisha was giving real, I'm about to throw out an old reference, which, ooh, child, this is going to make me feel so old. Sorry for all of our Gen Z listeners out here. But she kind of felt like Lisa Turtle from Saved by the Bell.
Oh, wow. I could see that. Wow. I could see that.
Like, she felt like Lisa Turtle. She was giving real, like, she was always fashionable.
She wasn't as vain. I feel like
no, she wasn't. No, I'm saying like she was always fashionable. Like she was always talking about shopping. She was always on point with the clothes. Like she was in style with the hair. Like she wasn't as vain, no. But like she was always given in terms of like she was always put together. Because her outfits were cute for the 90s. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. Because I tell this story all the time. I wanted to be her in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Because that white sweater combo with that white sweatshirt combo with the booty yellow shorts, absolutely. Like, I'll wear that till this day, which I did. Wore it to Morphicon, sure did. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that outfit is iconic. So I'm just like, and with the long braids, like homegirl was already thinking outside the box before anybody was thinking about that shit. You feel me? So I'm just like, I just always had an affinity towards Aisha. So maybe it is a nostalgia thing. I don't know, but I just loved Aisha so much more than Dustin. And like, while Dustin, yes, I would arguably say Dustin is the better character. By far, he is probably the better character. But in terms of likability, for me, it's Aisha. Like, I just like Aisha so much more. And also, like, she gets shit done. Like, homegirl was like, yo, like, Ivan Ooze out here trying to make us fly through space and shit, trying to crush us. Nah, not today. And Kimberly talking about some, what are you doing? Aisha's like, mind your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got this. Shut up. And like saved everybody. So I'm just like, it's Aisha for me. Like, so yeah. Sorry I had to go on that long tangent, but I had to. Like, Aisha's my girl.
So we all agree 7 is Aisha, 8 is Dustin.
I mean, that's my choice.
Well, you two do.
Well, unfortunately,
you guys
we win. Sorry.
So therefore, we all agree.
Right. Sorry, Will. Oops.
All
so
right.
let's run.
Number 6.
Okay.
What do we have?
Okay, so we're going to run this down real fast. So 22 Titus, 21 Calvin, 20 Emily, 19 Gia, 18 Ronnie, 17 Kelsey, 16 Chip, 15 Maya, 14 Zoe, 13 Lily, 12 Min, 11 Z, 10 Kira, 9 Katie, 10 Dustin, 7 Aisha, number 6 Summer with 21.
Oh, okay. So Summer was
that shocked me.
Summer was number 1 on my list.
What?
Yeah, I love Summer. Like, I don't know how much you guys know this, but like, I absolutely adore Summer. Summer is like my ride or die. Like, that girl, she's my icon. She's my queen. Like, she's literally everything. Like, yeah, I love RPM and I love Summer. I liked everything about her. I love the fact that she was both a tomboy but a girly girl, you know. I love that, like, you know what? She was also one of the few girls that actually did get a lot of it did work in her favor to be the only girl for a little while, at least, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't really count Gemma as a girl per se, because I felt like when her and Jem came along, they were like a team more so than like her being her own person. Like if she was her own person, yeah, then I would count her separately, but I don't. And Dr. K, well, we all know Dr. K isn't exactly like a normal average gal. So
Right.
yeah.
I mean, Summer was number 4 for me.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, yeah, Summer was always Summer. Whenever I made my list, Summer was always high. Like, Summer was always high for me because, like, I really do love Summer.
I love
like Summer was that girl that like I always was like. To me, it never felt like Summer was a girl.
Exactly.
On the team, like she just felt like she pulled her weight just like the guys did. It wasn't a situation where it was ever like, oh boy, here we go. Even though she did have her moments of fawning over Dylan, she never let that act. She was one of the rare instances where she never let that actually stop her from like going forward with the mission. Yeah, she sometimes was like, you know, kind of pining for Dylan and stuff like that. Yeah, she had her moments.
I mean, who isn't pining for Dylan realistically?
Okay, because shit, the way I be like, Dylan, I just want you to go in like computer kill mode for like 2.5 seconds and just close the door real fast. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, see how you act under this circumstances. You feel me? But you know, see how freaky you gonna get real fast. But I'm just saying, like, I do understand where she was coming from in terms of that, because like she always had an affinity towards him at the very beginning. But I will say it never was a situation where homegirl was like, oh my goodness, I can't think straight. Oh, we have to worry about Dylan first. Oh my goodness. Oh, what about Dylan? It was never that, because prime example, the episode where Dylan was fighting that Satbot, and he was literally trying to stop them from destroying the Satbot because it had his memories. And even Summer was like, I'm sorry, but fuck your memories. We gotta protect the dome. You know what I'm saying? Like, even Summer was like, I mean, nah.
Kimberly
like
would have put up a fight with that.
Oh, Kimberly definitely would have been like, if that was Tommy, Kimberly definitely would have been, no, we can't. What about Tommy? We gotta protect Tommy's memories. No, we all know what Kimberly would have done. But Summer was like, nah, like, we gotta protect the dome, and we're not about to let Satbot get away just because he has your memories. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? So I understood it. I'm like, yo, Summer a real G. And even that episode, even the episode where she was about to like, where he had to destroy that base or whatever, she gave him the bomb, the detonator, and was like, you do it. I want you to do it. And she empowered him to do it, even though that risked him losing the only, I guess, lead he had up to that point of finding his sister. But she made him, she empowered him to do it. So I'm like, to me, I felt like she was more of a ride or die than anybody, to be truthfully honest. Because she was realistic, she was focused, and she knew when to support and when to also be like, nah, this ain't the moment. This ain't the time for this. So like, absolutely, I can completely understand why she's high up on Lena's list, because she was high on mine.
Okay, so she was number 13 for me. How did I feel about Summer? I love RPM. I thought that was like, there's just too many great things to say about that season, which we touched on over the years. I think for me, with Summer, I felt like she was a bit of a Mary Sue.
I can see that.
She was good at everything. She had no flaws. She had no struggles. And it's like,
Wait, no. Yes, she did. Yeah. You don't remember her past episode? Homegirl was literally in
Ranger Yellow, right?
Yeah, was that Ranger Yellow? Yeah, that was Ranger Yellow. Yeah. When she was outside the dome and her her backstory.
Yeah, her backstory, that was fun. Yeah, I really liked that episode. That was probably the best for me that I saw of her, and it was because we got to see how much she had grown. But everything in the present day, she was just on top of everything, good at everything, and it didn't it hurt the connection for me because you're just good at everything. Like, and it's not like a Jen or a Taylor, where they were good at what they did, but there was also like this hard edge to them that wasn't so great that they had to work on throughout the season. Um, for her, she was just like perfect, and it just took away the intrigue for me. I have to say though, it's been a long time since I watched RPM in full, so I need to do another rewatch of that. But from what I remember, she just was great at everything, and it wasn't really compelling for me, especially in a season where we get somebody like Dr. K, where we get as a female character that was like really layered and had a really compelling backstory, and we got to see her grow throughout the season. And then her contemporaries, her other Rangers, like shit, I like Flynn better than her, and Flynn didn't get anything. But I felt like he had like a presence about him. And for her, it's just like she's the girl on the team. She's good at everything, and she likes Dylan. So that's that's how I felt.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I see what you're saying. I get it. I get it. I'm not gonna say I don't get it. I do. I don't know. Like, I just always loved it. Like, from the moment we found out who she was, hell, her entrance scene, and then finding out everything that led to her entrance scene was just like, I felt was genius. Like, that was genius storytelling, because it was like you get to know her by watching her come in and save Scott. And it's like, oh, you just think she's probably just, like she was just probably one of like one of their army people or whatever, going to go save another person who was fighting vengeance or whatever. But come to find out, it was nothing like that. She was some random rich girl who stole the bike and a helmet and was like, hey, this person needs help, let me go save them. You know what I'm saying? Despite her parents being like, yo, we just got you back. Like, fuck them other poor people and them other people out there. You're Lansdowne. Like, child cheese, you don't help people. Like, that is the wildest thing to say, by the way. That is wild. That is unhinged. But, like, she was on some, like, you're Lansdowne. Fuck them poor people out there. Like, fuck them. Like, listen, you don't help nobody. And she's like, I do now. I help people. And like, that was so cool to actually see her turn around, because the girl we knew before that, she had to literally watch she watched the whole world end, and she watched the one person that cared about her the most die right in front of her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that to me, and then watching her turn around and become the badass that she became, it was like, yeah, like, honestly, I don't need any more. Me personally, I don't need anything else. Like, sometimes, yeah, she was a Mary Sue, but I feel like in this case it worked, because it's like, she didn't need anything else. And also, she ended up winning in the end because she ended up getting the guy. So, I was just like, I liked her trajectory, to be honest. Like, I was like, that was the one instance where I was like, being a Mary Sue actually worked in her character. So I was cool. I was like, yeah, bet. I liked her. She wasn't number one material, but she was definitely top 5. Like, she was definitely always gonna be in my top 5, no matter what. Summer was always gonna be top 5. Summer is at number 6. Now we are entering the top 5 category. Here is the moment where I got so upset and I wanted to strangle the neck of somebody here. Number 5, Tanya with 19. I wanted to strangle Lena. I wanted to strangle Lena.
At least she's in the top 5.
I knew it was me because I put her at 17.
Holy shit!
I was looking at that list like, I know you lying. I know you lying, Lena. I know you lying. This is so disrespectful. I was like, oh, she did this out of spite. She did this to spite us because she knew we were going to put her number 1. She knew that. I was like, oh, Lena did this out of spite to be petty.
So you go first, Lena. Why the hell did you put her that low? Oh my God.
Okay. In all fairness, in all honesty, and this is based totally on my Power Ranger experience. Tanya never stood up for me. I only knew more about Tanya as the year with you guys through the years. And I learned more about her, and I learned to really like her character, right? But for me, as I was growing up, she never stood up for me. She always was like, it felt like she was always overshadowed by somebody else. And you know, like, yeah, she never stood out for me. So like when I was looking at the list, I solely, actually, this really was not trying to spite you guys. I based it solely on, as a child, who I gravitate to the most as I was growing up watching these series. And Tanya, I never really gravitated to her. So for me, it was like, my top 3 was like literally Summer. I really like Trinity from 2017, and then I got Kira, and then Trinity number 4 from Mighty Morphin, right? But yeah, so that's solely my opinion of it. It's like, I never gravitate towards her. But now, as an adult, like hearing you guys talk about her, I can see, I can see the Ranger that she is, the person that she is. And of course, meeting Nakia, like, she's awesome, right? But yeah, as a character, I didn't really gravitate towards her personally myself.
Okay.
So you talking to 2 Tanya stands. So yeah. Let her rip, Will. Let her rip.
Yeah, for me, how I feel about her. Like, I know, and this is unfortunate, sometimes she gets her character gets, she's like interchangeable with Aisha. And I hate that because they are so different. For me, when I was a kid, I definitely knew the difference between the two because I remember seeing the introduction. I remember seeing Tanya turned into a teenager after being introduced to her as a kid. And then I will say, what I really remembered was the cool moment on the Ghost Galleon in the Turbo movie where she did that wind up kick and she made that love boat joke. And that was one of the things that I really remember from her character. And I remember the departure. When I went back to watch Power Rangers as an adult, I was just like really shocked at how, even though she didn't get a ton of focus, the focus episodes that she got established her character so well because Nakia is a really good actor and she really made you believe that she was Tanya and she really made you believe what Tanya was going through. Obviously, we always talk about this. The 2 episodes she had with her boyfriend Sean and how he was just dogging her and just not being good to her. And she stood up for herself and she dumped him. And that was so cool to see. a Power Ranger on this. Power Rangers was like kind of like a superhero knockoff of Saved by the Bell. You actually got to see stuff like that on Saved by the Bell, but with Power Rangers, there were such goody two shoes, and the episodes, a lot of the time, most of the time, had mutually the people at odds would the humans at odds would come to some sort of agreement. But in that situation, she dumped his ass, and then that was it. She felt bad about it, but her friends cheer her up. I thought that was so cool, and that was something that really made me just respect that character. And then I felt like in Turbo, she really felt like she was a veteran ranger. She felt like it felt like the team wasn't, everybody was like on a level playing field, and then Justin was the junior ranger. So like she got to do the morph call, she got to do the back to action call. Her unmorph fight, she was kicking ass. So cool. I wish we could have seen more. I wish somehow those cut fight scenes would just surface somewhere. But she was just a really fun character. She had self-respect. She was a cool chick. Her relationship and bond with Adam was something that was beautiful. Her relationship and bond with Kat was something beautiful, and that was something that turned into a real life, almost 30-year friendship. That chemistry with them, you saw it on the screen, and it went into their real lives. She was such a good actor. She had great chemistry with everybody. You could pair her off with everybody, and it would be something fun. So I love that character. She's my favorite.
You hit every point. High five, virtual high five. Yes, high five. Like when I tell you, like you nailed it. Like Tanya. First of all, I tell y'all all the time. Like Tanya is like my number one, hands down. Always going to be. She is always going to be number one for me. Top tier. She is what Yellow Rangers are all about. Like. Mm-hmm. She was just always that person, even from her entrance episode, which I tell y'all I quote all the time because I know exactly what she said. Like, listen, because like anytime I think about the episode, I always think about how bad they had her makeup and they had her looking like Michael Jackson. That's not the point. The point is like they had like from the time that she got there, Nakia made Tanya a thing to me. Like from the moment she got there. Like even when she wasn't on camera, like when the camera wasn't focused on her, she was doing something. Like Nakia was just that kind of actress where it was just like she made her character known, and she had such an energy in the scenes where it was like it could be somebody else's scene and they're doing a whole monologue trying to act their best, and Nakia just in the background like just giving it, and she's still in the show. So I can kind of see why they probably were like, yeah, we might need to not make her so relevant because she might end up being better than some of the people that we already got here. Which, I mean, she was. So, it was just like, I just absolutely loved her just as a character. Just from day one, I always was fascinated with her. I mean, I told you before, like she inspired me to act, just in general. And just like from the moment, like from Zeo and her being a singer, and like they were trying to give her little things. And I still say, as much as they tried to give her things and tried to make her do things, I still say it's criminal that she did not have a solo fight. She should have had one. There was footage for her to do it. There was definitely footage for her to have a solo fight. They still didn't give it to her. I'm like, y'all suck for that. She should have had it. But even though on both seasons, Turbo and Zeo, there was footage. She definitely could have had a solo fight, but they opted to give all of her stuff to Tommy for whatever reason. It was just always like Tanya still stood out no matter how much they tried to no matter how much they tried to shield her, no matter how much they tried to give her stuff to other people, she always stood out. And just another thing with Tanya too, Turbo was still good to Tanya, no matter what. Like, even though she didn't get that many fights, she even had fights where literally it was like, she had more fight scenes in the movie that was cut. Because apparently there was this whole thing where she had a whole bunch of cool fight scenes with her and Johnny before they lost their powers. Then she had something else that they did. Like, she had stuff. And then of course they had when you watch the bloopers at the end on one of the episodes, she had a fight scene there that we don't see. You know what I'm saying? So
the black One Piece workout gear.
Right, exactly.
I was so mad when I saw that.
I'm like, damn, I need somebody to pull that footage. Like, can somebody find this? I know it does not exist, but I just want somebody to find it. Can somebody find it? Because I just know that fight scene was good. I just know it was good. Because the way she did it, I was like, oh, she was probably kicking ass. But, I just know that Nakia made Tanya such a good character. And I think it's just so criminal that she did not get more than what she got. So yeah, I will always stand on that to the end of time. And, for me, Tanya deserves to be number 1. She's number 5. I have to live with that. That's okay. But I still think as we go up this ladder, the person who is one of the people who are above her actually pisses me off. We're going to keep going. Number 4 is going to be Taylor with 18. Now, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at Taylor being number 4. I'm actually not mad at that. Because Taylor she was the only good character in Wild Force.
Wild Force, yeah.
She was the only one. So I'm actually okay with Taylor being number 4. How about y'all?
Yeah, she was number 7 for me, but I'm okay with her being number 4. I actually wasn't expecting her to be that high up on the list, if I'm being honest, but yeah, she was number 7 for me. I don't dislike her. Again, she was one of those characters that stood out for me, and I was a Taylor stan. I really liked her. I wish they'd offer her more, but they didn't, because the moment Cole came in, she lost her spotlight, she lost her leadership, she lost everything. And I'm just here being like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Correct.
Yeah, so she deserves so much more, and she was definitely one of my top 10s for sure. For sure. She had so much to offer, so much.
I would agree with that. She was actually number 3 for me. And for as far as the Rangers that season, definitely, like Brandon said, she was the only good character. She was the best actor. I love that she started off as the leader of the team. I loved just the assertiveness, the hard assness. One of the coolest things was when she, and not that I condone this, but she did what she needed to do at the time when she punched Cole in the stomach and kidnapped him. that was so funny to me. I loved the oh my goodness, the team up with Time Force, the sexual tension with her.
Oh yeah.
And Eric, you can cut that with a knife.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Oh, she wanted to jump Eric's bones, and I don't blame her.
I was just about to say, I do not blame her either.
I don't blame her, because I'm gonna tell you right now, the way he was staring her down when they were beefing with each other. after they had demorphed and everything, and she was like, the least you can say is say thanks. And he was staring at her. I was like, ooh, he wanted to jump her bones right then and there, and I felt it. I was like, yes, yes, you better stare her down.
He was like, I finally met my match.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm not gonna lie. He's like, it's hot. It's hot in here.
I have never got so turned on by two straight people. I was like, oh, this is good. Oh, this is good TV, baby. I love it. I love it because I just knew they had nasty relations.
You know what I really liked too? I really liked they were giving like, I call it the whole Hollywood vibes. You know, like in Hollywood, you never used to know what was going on. Like the celebrities were just celebrities and they were always on a pedestal and you never knew the ins and outs of their lives. You know, like they were top secret. And that's what they were giving. They were giving like all celebrity vibes. Like if you didn't know, you wouldn't know, right? But if you knew, you knew. And so much was said, but yet so little was done. And that's what I liked about it. Oh.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's the best way to describe those two because like literally they were just on some like constantly just staring each other down and breathing down each other's throats. But also at the same time, it was like they had that sexual tension going on too, because that's what I love the most. It wasn't just that flirty tension, like that the like childlike, oh, I think you're cute. I think you're cute too. It wasn't that. It was real like, I'm gonna snatch you up and pull you in this corner. Like, I mean, it was that kind of stuff. Like, yes, that is what we want to see. Give me that. Because that's more interesting than, oh, I think you're cute. I think you're cute too. Like that's more interesting than that. You know,
it was more adult because they were adults.
Exactly.
And it was giving 50 Shades of Grey.
Mm-hmm.
Before 50 Shades of Grey was a thing.
Okay, because the way Eric was staring at her and the way she was staring at him, I just know it was sweaty and nasty. I just know. Shall.
And I forgot to mention she was a part of the Air Force, which was cool. And they did at least give us, I think we saw that like 3 times. I think she had an episode where she went back to the air base at one point.
And they almost kind of figured out that it was her, and then she lied, talking about yes, that's not her. It's like, girl, they know you. Like, come on, that's not me. You have the wrong person. Girl, they know exactly who you are. Cut it out. But
one more thing, we always mention the fact that Allison, she actually fought to be able to actually act.
Yeah.
Because everyone was instructed to dumb down their acting skills, and she's like, I'm an actor, I'm not doing that. And she acted, and we got to see it. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah, exactly. And that was one thing about Allison to me that really was like on point, because Alice, like you said, Allison was like, no. Like, I came here to act. Like, I know y'all trying to get me to be all like silly acting and stuff like that. I'll do it when the time comes, but I'm not going to just be silly the entire time. Like, this is my character. This is who she's going to be. And she fought for that. And I respect that 100% because everybody else folded. And you see how they was up there acting, talking up in their higher octaves, acting stupid. Because I'm sorry, I still can't forgive. I can't forgive how those other ones was acting. Like, I just can't. Like, why were they acting like that? Like, Taylor was literally acting like she was in her 30s. And everybody else was acting like they were like 14, 15 years old. Like, that is wild to me. Like,
and it's so crazy because like literally what they were doing is what we got over a decade later, or like 15 years later with the Neo Saban era.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was. Like, it was almost kind of like it was the precursor of it. It was like, this is what years later the Neo Saban era is going to be. is just going to be a bunch of adults acting like children. And it's like, this is wild. Like, how did we go from Time Force where everybody was literally acting their asses off to now we getting this? Like, who made that decision? Like, that is wild. Granted, the action actually was really good in Wild Force because I went back and watched it. And they had some killer fight scenes. Like some of those wire movements. Oh my God. Some of those wire scenes were phenomenal in Wild Force. I probably would say one of my favorite fights out of Wild Force and just in general was the fight between Cole and Master Org. That is top tier. Top tier. Like I would put money on that. Like I would want to watch something like that any day versus what we got later on. Like that fight when Cole fought Master Org, that was like, oh my goodness, that was such a good fight. Like, it was the perfect usage of wire.
And also the fact that there was like stakes in the season and death. And the big bad just not being redeemed, being just a horrible. Wow, he wasn't completely human, but just
well, at one point he was, yeah, and he still was a bad person.
Yeah. So like I love that he killed Cole's parents and had no regrets about it.
And like he killing people out here.
That was
like I love that he killed those parents. Fuck them parents.
That's so weird. That's so strange that they had the actors. They wanted the actors to hold back, but then you have a season with such dark themes.
Yeah.
But then in the Neo Saban era, you had them hold back, and the whole season was. There was no stakes. There was no darkness. There was nothing like this. It's just interesting how that all went.
One thing about Wild Force that I really enjoyed is that despite them trying to hold back, they were trying to tell a story of the human experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like they were trying to tell it, but they were also trying to tell it in the most kid-friendly way as possible. And I feel like that's probably one of the reasons why they dumbed down the actors. Was because they were trying to tell this really adult story without making it feel like, oh, this isn't for kids anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, I felt like they could have lightened them up a little bit. Like they could have made them a little more darker because I'm sorry, like just watching them fumble around like 9-year-olds was fucking weird. I'm sorry. Like I just couldn't get with that. But on the same token, I kind of understand why they did it because, like you said, the story itself was dark. Like it was quite adult because you got Master. Well, I can't remember his real name, but Master Org was out here like he's sitting.
Dr. Adler.
Dr. Adler. There we go. Dr. Adler was like, "Yo, you know I love this woman over here," and he's just literally filling up with jealousy, and it was all in his head. All of it was in his head. He didn't make the move. He was working with this woman the whole time. And he was so shy and so caught up in his own emotions that when he finally decided to make the move, it was too late. His partner then already did it. And then he blamed his partner for everything, being like, well, he stole this from me. He stole that. He stole this. He stole that. When in actuality, he didn't. Actually, in actuality, the partner was literally trying to give him credit for his work, but he was so filled with hatred and envy that he let it get the best of him and he ended up killing Cole's parents. That is such a compelling story. That is a fantastic story, and it was done very well. That backstory was like the way they filmed it and the way they done it, the way they did it was so good. But when you actually get back to the show and you see the other actors and they're jumping around like 10-year-olds, that's when it starts feeling like, what the fuck am I watching? So, I will have to honestly say, like, there's some parts about Wild Force that I actually thoroughly enjoyed. But then after going back and watching it, because I did not watch it when it came out, but I still have to put it in a low tier because, sorry, like it just wasn't that show.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Taylor definitely was the best part of the show for sure. Like she was definitely up there. So yeah, Taylor is number 4. Number 3, Trini 2017 with 17.
Yay.
17.
She was number 2 for me, so I will take it.
Wow, she was number 9 for me.
She was number 6 for me.
Okay. She was interesting. She was unfortunately, once again, disrespect to Yellow Rangers, the probably the least developed. Well, no. Zach would have been the least developed. She had a little bit more than him. I like that we got her family story. I like that we got the backstory in the campfire scene where she talked about just constantly moving, never really having a place to call home. So she doesn't really have friends. And she's going through so many changes. She's discovering things about herself, about her sexuality. And her parents are hard on her. She's a big sister. She's the oldest of 3. She has a lot of pressure. Her parents want her to be normal, but she's depressed. She's learning things about herself. She's going through it like so many of us teenagers can say that we experienced when we were teenagers. And I thought that was compelling, and I wish that there was more build for her, but it was just for that angsty teen vibe that they were trying to do for that film. You definitely felt it with her, and I think another thing that I always will say this in the deleted scenes, there is a scene where well, it was in the movie, but the scene where Rita attacked her in her bedroom, it was supposed to be longer than that. And
Yeah.
she planted seeds in Trini's head of doubting herself and where she belonged on words are escaping me. Like your friends, they don't care about you, or excuse me, your teammates, they don't care about you. You're not really their friend. They don't know you. You should join me. And I love that. I love that. I thought that was so interesting, and I would have liked if they would have played more into that and maybe given us like a fake out where maybe we thought that she went along with Rita, and but then no, I'm still with the team. But I thought she was a cool character, and it was my first time. Because of my age, I didn't know of Becky G's singing career at the time. I didn't know that she was an artist. So when I saw her and Googled her, I was like, "Oh, she makes music." This was like my first introduction to her, and I liked her a lot.
I'm glad. Like for me, I actually knew her way before she became a Power Ranger, and I knew about her music. I've been following her career for like literally since the beginning of time. Since the day like I discovered between her songs Shower and Becky from the Block. And so I've always loved it. And when she became the Yellow Ranger, I was like, what? Are you freaking kidding me? Yes, absolutely yes. So this one, I will admit, it was a combination of the actress, and the character for me. So I'm glad she's up there on the top 3.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is obviously that's going to play at some point. Like, so I don't fault you for that. Like, because I mean, honestly, that kind of was the thing for me too, in a way. Not so much, but it kind of was that for me too. But one of the things that made me really fall in love with Trini 2017. And honestly, I had her actually hired in actual Trini from the series, me personally. I love 2017 Trini because of how relatable she was. Like Will, you literally articulated it so eloquently by saying exactly what she was giving. Because to me, 2017 Trini literally gave you teenager of today and what teenagers of today go through, especially queer teenagers. Like, they nailed that down. Like, I mean, wow, that monologue that she had, you just knew she was queer. You didn't know what specifically she was. I remember when the movie was out, so many people was like, well, what is she? Just say what she is. Is she a lesbian? Is she bisexual? What is she?
Doesn't matter.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we knew she was queer, but she didn't know what she was. She's still trying to figure it out. And obviously, and no shade, some of us, we think we know, and then we go through life and we're like, but are we? I mean, case in point, I always knew I like dudes. Always knew it, and literally I ended up like, I was dating dudes all throughout high school. I just always knew. I never thought for a moment I would like a girl. Never. Met my college quote unquote sweetheart, a whole girl, and dated her for pretty much 4 years. And I thought we were going to get married even. Like, literally, like, I was so much in love with this girl. And then, like, she ended up breaking up with me or whatever. But, like, once we graduated. But even then, like, I would have never thought that I would even date a girl. And I don't consider myself bisexual at all. I don't consider myself bisexual. But that just goes back to what I'm saying with, we don't, like, not all of us just automatically know exactly what we are, especially that early on. Not all of us know. Some people, we do know. Where it's like right out the gate, we know what we like. Boom, boom, boom. But for some people, it's very confusing. And I love the fact that they played with that and they didn't exactly say exactly what she was. I felt like that was one of the most realest moments of the entire movie. That was one of the most realest moments to me. And I think that Becky G, especially being a brand new actress, I felt like she handled it with so much care. Her performance was masterful. And I just knew, I was like, I could see this girl. I know this girl. Like, she was giving that teenage girl that everybody knows at some point. Like, everybody knew her. You know what I'm saying? And I just always felt like that Trini was so much more compelling. Like, and like I said, it's no shade to the Trini and Mighty Morphin. No shade to her, because Twee did an amazing job. But me and Becky G, we here. I just always, like, I always felt her Trini. Like, I was just like, I love her. So yeah, like, it will always be Trini for me, 2017. Like,
I forgot if I said she was number 9 for me, so she's in the top 10. But yeah,
okay.
See, it's so interesting because I just automatically assumed at the time that she was saying that she was a lesbian. And it wasn't really until a few years later of like kind of dissecting it more that she didn't say exactly what she was. And you actually you did a great job of opening my eyes up to them. I guess potentially writing it this way of them purposefully not saying that because of just because people don't always know.
Don't always know.
So that was she probably was like the realest character for
yeah
in that movie.
Absolutely. And I mean, like, to me, the most standout performances of that entire movie for me, honestly, was Becky G and RJ. Those two,
for me were the most standouts. Because RJ just, oh goodness, the way he did that. Like, normally I'm always fearful when people portray people with any type of disability. I'm always very fearful. But he did his research. He didn't make it a caricature character. Like, he made his Billy with autism like literally like a kid you would know. Like, he played it so honestly and so earnestly to the point where it was like, oh, you know that kid. Like, it just always felt like between Trini and Billy, it just felt like you knew those kids growing up. Like, you know, they weren't characters that were like, oh, they're just archetypes. No, like, you knew those kids. Like, it was like, I know exactly who that kid was. Like, they were in my 10th grade class. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were so specific in how they were portrayed. And that's why I'm like, I had to put Trini up there. Like, I had to put Trini above the 1993 Trini. Like, I had to. Because, like, I just knew her. Like, that girl, I can tell you right now, I know that girl. I went to school with her, honestly. Like, I really did go to school with her. And come to find out, she really was a lesbian, for real, for real. So, like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I knew her. And, like, immediately I fell in love with Trini. So yeah, Trini was always gonna be high on my list, no matter what.
I agree. We hit all the right points, and like, and you know, I can go on for days about Becky, like, and I love Trini. So I'm with you there. She was actually higher than the Mighty Morphin Trini. Funny enough, Mighty Morphin Trini didn't really stood out for me that much because again, she was overshadowed by Kimberly. But I loved her because she was the first Asian I saw, right, on TV.
Yeah.
And of course, like, and again, this is where real life intertwines. I think she'll always be like in our top 5 because the fact that she's no longer here with us either, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, no matter what, she'll always be with us. But 2017 Trini, she was exactly everything you said. Relatable, lovable, like everything a teenager's going through, she's going through it. Just real life shit, you know, and RJ, love RJ's character too. Like, I think 2017 movie was amazing. If only we were able to get part 2, that would have been better. But unfortunately, we did not, and it's, you know, we will never know what would have became of those characters with those actors. I'm not talking about a reboot with a whole new team, you know, like I don't want that. I don't care for that. You know, if you're a whole new team, you know what? You're a whole new team. you ain't the same Mighty Morphin, okay? So
right, I agree.
You know, like, you're a different Trini. You're like kind of like how we all agree that 2017 cast is a different cast. I mean, it's a different character altogether from Mighty Morphin. Even though they have the same names, but they were not the same characters. They were not the same by any means, you know, like Kimberly was definitely not Kimberly, right? So
oh no, not by far.
Yeah, so either was Zach, right? So like, if they recast us, it's a whole new team. It's not them anymore. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care if they're using Mighty Morphin. I don't care if they're using the same character names. It's not the same, you know. So I absolutely agree with it. Like Becky, Chef's Kiss, Trini, 2017 Chef's Kiss. So I'm excited to see who our top 2 is.
All right, y'all. Let's go down this list one more time. Because baby, number 2, ooh child. So Titus, 22, Calvin, 21, Emily, 20, Gia, 19, Ronnie, 18, Kelsey, 17, Chip, 16, Maya, 15, Zoe, 14, Lily, 13, Min, 12, Z, 11, Kira, 10, Katie, 9, Dustin, 8, Aisha, 7, Summer, 6, Tanya, unfortunately, 5, Taylor, 4, Trini, 2017, 3, number 2, unfortunately, Ashley with 14. What the hell?
Okay, I'm actually kind of shocked. Don't get me wrong. I love me an Ashley, but really? Number 2? What
number 2?
I had it was number 5, but again, this goes back to the fact that, like, nostalgia purposes, and she has been around much longer than most of these gals have, right?
Mhm.
But number two, okay.
Number
She
two.
was Ashley was 6 for me.
Ashley was 3 for me. She was
Really?
3. Yes. And the reason why, because remember, I changed it because of Kira. Because technically, she was originally number 4.
So
she was 4.
You replace a lower ranking ranger.
I know, right? I know. And I'm like, when I did the math, I was like, something's wrong. No. And I'm literally screaming because I'm like, oh my goodness. Ashley is number 2. Like, that blew my mind. And this is no shade to Ashley because she wasn't bad. Here's the thing. For me, right? Ashley was fantastic in Turbo. Loved her. Loved her character. I loved her down. I thought her as her intro character, we find out she was an ex-cheerleader. Well, not even an ex-cheerleader. You saw her cheer. But of course, being a ranger, she gave it up. Like, she was a fashionista. I loved her outfits. Like, beautiful gowns, honey. Like, her outfits were always on point. Like, and then I loved how they always matched the brown and yellow together with her. Like, they would match other colors with her yellow. So they would do like orange and yellow, brown and yellow. Like, they were in their bag with Ashley's outfits. Like, they were in their bag. I mean, Ashley was always on point. She was wearing heels. Like, Ashley was the it girl. So don't get me wrong, loved her in Turbo. And plus, first of all, Tracy was out here kicking ass. People don't really want to give Tracy her flowers. Because no shade, people love themselves some Cassie, and rightfully so. Cassie was dope as fuck. Cassie was dope. But Tracy, they don't want to give Tracy her flowers when in actuality, Tracy was out here giving you like, she was fighting. You feel me? Like, because I'll never forget when Tracy did that kick. I don't think it was her, but it's that fight scene where she was fighting the Piranhatrons and she literally jumps up and she drop kicks them. I don't know if that was Tracy or not, but I still say that shit was fire. Because
I was wondering that too. I always wondered that too.
I always wondered, I'm like, was that her?
They didn't use stunt people for that cast, but I do remember hearing that somebody hurt their leg real bad that season. So maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
Maybe it was her. I don't know. But I mean, I'm like, regardless, that fight scene was actually one of my favorites from her. And then also when she morphed, Homegirl was wrestling.
Yes. That was so cool.
She was wrestling. I will never forget. She literally picked up the Piranhatron and body slammed that hoe. Like, I'm like, what? Yo, a yellow ranger, a female ranger, literally armbarred, body slammed a whole Piranhatron. That is wild to me. Wild.
Yeah, they were just having fun choreographing that stuff.
I'm telling you, Turbo Ashley was lit as fuck. I love Turbo Ashley. In Space Ashley, yawn. I'm like,
it was one of the situations we were talking about when a female character, they get a male interest and then they lock it in and they get together and she's done. Yeah, unfortunately. Ashley, I mean, you summed it up. You summed it up really well. A really cool introduction, and then later on, we got to see who Ashley was, like as a person. I always remembered the first time, her first episode. She was the first one to get a focus episode of the new Turbo Rangers. And I remember that episode where the other Rangers had the spell put on them. They hurt her feelings. She was all by herself. And then she was crying. And then she got the call to go into action. She's like, by myself? And then she had to do it on her own. And like we watched her.
And she struggled. She struggled. Like she actually almost got her ass kicked. Like
yeah.
And she had to figure it out.
Yeah, when we watched her just cool things with her character. You know, the whole thing with taking the auto shop class because her dad thought that girl shouldn't deal with cars. Um, the episodes that she had with Cassie, where they had two episodes where they were like rivals, but you know their their friendship meant the most to them. So her character was always hungry. I remember
And
that.
always had her nails done. Don't forget the acrylic nails.
That oh man, and Tracy is just I still think one of the baddest, most beautiful Rangers we've ever had.
Absolutely, hands down.
Like still holds up. Like looking back over 20 years ago, it's like wow, she was gorgeous. And of course,
Still gorgeous.
Tracy is gorgeous today. Yes. And then I loved watching her fight. Her more fights were so good. Her dance background, another person with a dance background, it really helped. And I really, I feel like when I met Tracy, it was a mixture of I had just watched Turbo again, and then I met her, and it's just like Ashley kind of just went up quite a few pegs for me after meeting her. Um, I really did enjoy her, and oh my God, another really cool scene that she had was in space. It was the Tankenstein episode where her and Andros are on a date at night, and then they almost get killed by a giant tank, a freaking Hummer.
Almost ran they asses over.
That was such a cool scene. Like, and I don't think I remembered that. I remember when the episode came on, it's nighttime. They're going down the alleyway to take a shortcut, and then this car, see, once again, this tank, this Hummer, almost kills them. That was
Almost
like, what
ran
is
their
that?
asses over. And that part
Yeah.
actually gets me because I'm like, homegirl did that shit in heels.
Mm-hmm.
She performed that whole stunt in heels. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you can I will say, as much as I hate the fact that she is number two, Tracy Lynn Cruz did her thing. Like, I will give flowers where flowers are due. And that's why I hate that a lot of times. And like I said, I love Cassie, I love Patricia, and she should get her flowers. But I just hate that so many people love to, like, it's always that whole thing of we can't just like both of them. We have to pick one over the other.
Mm-hmm.
And that was specifically the situation with Cassie and Ashley.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, with the two seasons that they were together, that was a great time for female Rangers where it felt like they both were on a level playing field because they both were pretty well developed. Maybe not as much in space for Ashley, but we knew who these two women were. They both brought something to the team and to the show, and I felt like it was more equal than we had up until that
Absolutely.
point. Later on.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, the Turbo in Space duo, like Ashley and Cassie, they were, like you said, like that was the perfect example of actually giving both women equal opportunity, because all this time leading up to it, you always had the pink being more favored than yellow. And especially with the transitions of, them needing a love interest for Tommy, because that's really what it was. They needed a love interest for Tommy, and it was always pink. So obviously, because that's Tommy's woman, she's going to get more to do no matter what. And not saying that Kat wasn't good. Kat was amazing, because let me tell you, like, them legs, baby. Yes, absolutely. And like, Kat was out here dancing on these hoes. So like, I'm always going to stand for Kat. But, Nakia is also out here like, hello, like, hello, so, it was definitely one-sided. But when they got rid of them, you can tell that there was definitely a focus on trying to make sure that everybody got something to do. Everybody had a chance to shine at some point. Even sucky ass Carlos, even he had a chance. Granted, he didn't shine much because he just wasn't that great of a character.
Well,
but
he kept giving up. That's why.
Right, like all of his moments to shine was him giving up. So it was just like, well, shit, do you want to be here or not? But like everybody else, it was just kind of like, okay, like they all had moments to really showcase who they are and how great they are. And like Ashley just knocked it out of the park every time. And I was like, yo, like Turbo Ashley is lit. But Space Ashley, I feel like the only good episode with her, honestly, was her and her grandma.
Oh, right.
Like that to me was her best episode in Space because like what else did she have other than her being like, oh, Andros? What else did she have? I mean, she did cool things. I mean, one of my favorite moments definitely is her putting on her helmet before they fought the Craterites in the simulation. Because we never ever actually seen them put on their helmets like that before. Like sis literally put on her helmet and she's like balling her hair up. I was like, oh snap, like she's actually putting on her helmet for real. So I always thought that was cool.
I liked oh my goodness, oh my gosh, it was just in my head. Oh my god, damn, how did I forget that fast? Shit, go ahead.
Uh-oh. But nah, like that was all I was gonna say. I mean, like I said, just in Space, Ashley just wasn't. She wasn't good.
The Brazilian bug one. They had like a horror movie vibe where Cassie and Ashley had been infected by the Brazilian bugs and they turned into the monsters. And she had to walk around the mega ship by herself. It was just her and Alpha, and she had the big astromorpher prop. And she had to use that to protect herself, and then they almost got her too. I like that.
Now, here's the thing on that episode. I'm not gonna hold you. That really pissed me off. That scene made me so mad. I'm not even gonna hold you because I'm like, Ashley, if you don't shoot them and stop playing, like they about to bite you and turn you into a Brilliant bug. I'm sorry, no shade. Like Ashley would not survive the zombie apocalypse. She wouldn't. Like she wouldn't survive. Like she would be turned into a zombie immediately because it's like she too scary. It's like, first of all, these things are coming after you and you sitting here talking about, no, stop. Carlos, don't do it. And it's like they are whole bugs right now, girl. If you don't shoot them, and then TJ had to come in and save the day. And I'm like, oh. This could have been your moment, girl. You could have at least like gave them warning shots or something. Like, I'll shoot you, you better back up. And like shot the ground or something. You know, something. But homegirl was just like, don't do it. Don't do it. Like, girl, cut it out. So yes, I was not really a fan of Space Ashley, but you know, Ashley was still cool, I guess. So we approach number one. I'm pretty sure we all know who number one is, but we're gonna go through the list one more time. Titus 22, Calvin 21, Emily 20, Gia 19, Ronnie 18, Kelsey 17, Chip 16, Maya 15, Zoe 14, Lily 13, Min 12, Z 11, Kira 10, Katie 9, Dustin 8, 7 Aisha, Summer 6, Tanya 5, Taylor 4, Trini 2017 3, Ashley 2. Lastly, the number one spot.
Okay.
The number one spot, Miss Alicia. I'm just joking. No, it's not. The number one spot.
I was like, it's not because we already talked about her.
No, it's Alicia, the Aisha's ancestor.
That's her ancestor.
Oh.
Yeah. No. Number one.
That fell flat.
Trini. You did. Trini with 13.
She was number 2 for me.
She was number Let me see. I lost my notes now. She was number 4 for me.
She was number 7 for me. Y'all know I was not a Trini fan. Like I mean, well,
same.
Well,
I just
a
wasn't.
Trini fan.
I wasn't. I wasn't a Trini fan.
Me
Like, I mean,
neither.
I liked her. I thought she was cool.
Me
but
too. I was never a Trini
I
fan
wasn't
either.
a fan.
I was
Well,
a
why you-
Kimberly gal.
I will say Trini did do some cool shit. Don't get me
She
wrong.
did, yeah.
Like, but when I think of the Mighty Morphin cast, she's not my go-to. Like,
She's not.
She's not. Like, I'm always, when I'm thinking of Mighty Morphin, like I said before earlier,
Kimberly for me.
it was Kimberly. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was
Kimberly and Tommy.
I literally started doing gymnastics because of Kimberly.
Me
so,
too.
Like,
I did a lot of things because of Kimberly. Honestly,
so, like,
it was just she was great, but she was mostly in the background.
She was mostly in the background. Exactly. She was in the background. And that was what was one of the things.
Yellow Rangers.
Exactly. She was a Yellow Ranger. She was just always in the background and she rarely ever got things to do. But when she got them, it was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But still, even then, it was like, but
they weren't like
cool, but
yeah, there wasn't enough for our little brain to remember.
Right. Like, it was one of those things. Well, I know for me, it was one of those things for me with Trini. I was like, I liked her. She was cool. But, like, also, I got Kimberly over here being really cool. And I got Zach over here because he could dance and he black. Right. And then I got Billy over here because he's smart.
Right.
And he ended up learning how to fight and could defend himself. And I got Jason over here because he's hot with the shirt on. And you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, everybody had a one-up on Trini in some way for me. Everybody had a one-up.
And literally, Trini was like, they tried to make Trini to be like everybody at the same time. She was smart.
Right.
She was like, you know, macho. Like, she was literally everything but herself. And she was everyone's friend. Like, she was literally
I actually liked that. I actually like that. I like that there was a bond between her and everybody in some way.
No, there's nothing wrong with it, but like, there's not the bond I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that like she literally tried to be everybody at the same time.
I'll say, like, one of the things for me that I think actually kind of put me off from Trini is they really tried to pull the Zen thing with Trini, and I don't like it because it was mainly a stereotypical thing with her being Asian. And it felt like they were trying to make her like this Zen Buddhist person. Like, she was like very slow to anger. Like, she was just always very like Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Like, she was just like that type of person. And I'm like, but I know some Asians that can get rowdy and can get up in your face like real fast.
You know what's funny? And you know what's funny? I've never met a Vietnamese woman, because that's what she was or is. I've never met a Vietnamese woman that was not screaming at the top of their lungs and being unzen. Like, these Vietnamese women will be hitting you with their slippers and they don't even know you. Like, don't be throwing whatever they got in their hand at you because, like, for whatever reason, you're causing trouble. Like, so the fact that I agree with you there, like, they try to make her so zen, and I'm like, where are they getting this from? She's not a monk. Like, really, no Asian do I know, unless you're a monk, is zen.
Like, they made her super, super chill. And I'm like, yo.
And this is coming from me. Like, I grew up in a family of like 5. And people always ask me why I talk so loud. Is because we are like freaking Latinas or Latinos. We scream to get on top of each other to be heard. We scream. So half the time I don't realize I'm being loud until someone goes, Lena, calm down. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Or they'll be like, why are you yelling? I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't realize I am, because for me, that's just how we are. So I've never met an Asian person that was chill. Unless you're a monk.
I feel like it was White Riders.
Yes, absolutely. That's all we've ever had in Power Rangers for White Riders.
Yeah. So,
you know, they were very stereotypical, especially with the MMPR cast.
Oh, absolutely.
I always bring this up as something that was really cool and funny. So for me, one of the things that always I always remember about Trini was um no more clowning around when she um she was about to get into a fight with Pineapple the Clown over her cousin Sylvia. Or that I've gone on record saying that was what sparked my fear of clowns when I was a kid. And we were in a real stranger danger like kind of era at that time. So that was really creepy, but I just love the fact that like this dude is being, well, she thought it was a human, was being really weird with her cousin. And she's like, no, fuck that. Like, you better back off. And she got in that fighting stance and she was about to kick his ass. I love that. I thought that was so funny. And of course, her focus episode with the praying mantis monster and just having a full episode just to herself. And I love that she got to do the more fight with the monster all by herself. Thought that was really cool. And just in general, like her bonds with the other Rangers, in particular with Kimberly, because they were such polar opposites. So it was cool to see two girls that are so different be so close. And then, of course, the relationship with Billy, they're best friends in the world. She always looked out for him. And they were best friends literally till the end. She sacrificed her life to protect Billy.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so that just I already felt like a close thing, and you could see like Twee and David really had good chemistry. And then like the fact that she saved him at the end, she sacrificed her life for him, that really made that relationship like even like stronger for me. And you know, it was cool seeing her do the Unmore fights, because I remember going into the show as an adult and thinking that everybody was like just amazing martial artists, but then to see, you know, it was like a for the ones that didn't have the experience, it was we got to see them get better over time. So that was cool to see. Um and I believe she was the first Asian female live action superhero. And that's a really big deal. A lot of people saw themselves for the first time seeing Twee as Trini. So I always had a lot of love for her. Those doppelganger episodes, there was always something about seeing yellow and yellow that was so aesthetically pleasing. Um, I loved her. I really did. I really did.
Yeah. I mean, yes, there are some things about, like I said, like for me, it was just always Trini was just one of those characters who I wished for. I wish she had more to do. Because like honestly, I'm not gonna hold you. I feel like we all gravitated to Kimberly because Kimberly was the one who was in our face the most. And you know, because Trini didn't get much to do, like not as much as Kimberly did, because I mean, Trini was the first one to kill a monster by herself because she defeated Bones. So, you know, she was the first, but it was just like, it's this weird curse that they have with, and I use this word sparingly, but it's this weird curse that they have with Yellow Rangers, where literally Yellow Rangers just, they start out well and then they just forget all about them and give everybody else things to do. And Trini was like was a culprit of that. Like literally, they started giving her things to do, and then all of a sudden it was like, all right, now it's time to give everybody else stuff, and they forgot about it. Well, seemingly, it felt like they forgot about her. So, you know, it's just like, and then they tried to give her a love interest, which that didn't really go well because then, like, by that point, it was like, they're gone. You know, so we never got to find out what happened with that. So it was just like Trini she just never really got her flowers. And unfortunately, it just never panned well with her just in general, because it's just like she didn't get to do much. Then when she was given the opportunity, she was about to get the opportunity to do stuff. It's like, oh, well, now they're gone, So, because like season 2 definitely kind of like set her up in a place to where it seemed like she was about to get a lot of stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
And even her fight scenes were a lot better, because I'm not gonna hold you, that fight scene when her and Kimberly were fighting the Z Putties, and she did that little somersault. I was like, I don't think that was her, but like it could have been. I don't know, but just the fact that we even got Trini even pulling a somersault was like, oh shit, that's fire. You know what I'm saying? So, and her choreography was dope too. Yeah. So, and she was fighting a lot faster instead of doing the whole like palm attacks and chops and stuff. Like she was actually fighting, like using actual like Taekwondo and shit. So like Sis was really actually about to like really cut up, and they were like, nah, we got to go ahead and get you out, because of course, behind the scenes shit. So, it just sucks that we didn't get Trini in all her full glory. And I do kind of feel like Trini in the comics, I know we said we weren't going to reference comics, but I do think the comics give us more meat and give us more of what we were asking for than what the TV show gave us. So I do appreciate the comics for really giving her memory and giving her a lot more. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, y'all, that's it. That's our list. I cannot believe this. I'm still upset that Ashley is number 2. But, we...
I mean...
We here.
We did it. We're here. And Ashley, I mean, she was in replacement of Kira, so it is what it shall be.
Right. She replaced Kira, so... All right, y'all. Well, if you have anything on your list, or please actually tell us what your lists are. Yes. We would love to hear it. And let us know. But anybody have anything to say before we go?
I was just gonna say, like, we look forward to continuing, being back here on a weekly basis. That's the plan, that's the hope. And and we want to hear back from you guys. We want to interact with you guys again. So definitely leave a comment and we will read out our next episode. And until we see you guys again.
Facts. We are looking forward to a new year filled with new content, new stuff. And keep on listening to us. Keep on looking for us on social media, because we are still here. linktr.ee/Tribunal of the Grid. All of our links are there. All of our Instagrams, Twitter, all of our socials, everything is there. So keep on the lookout. We are back. And my name is Brandon.
My name is Lena.
And my name is Will.
And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.